you got to explain the order prayer, you can get it.
All right, y'all. For any newcomers, y'all, we pray as it is written in the Bible according to the ordinances, commandments, statutes, and judgment. Y'all, we face toward Jerusalem. We're in the West Country, so we turn east. That don't mean we're praying to no Wailing Wall or no cube in Mecca. We were instructed, wherever you are on planet Earth, near or far, turn toward Holy Jerusalem. So y'all, we're just turning toward Jerusalem. If we was in Russia, we would turn toward the south. Ancient Babylon, we turn toward the north. So we're not just looking toward the east as no doctrine, but only toward the house of Israel, Holy Jerusalem. It's written in the book of Daniel chapter 6 verse 10, 1 Kings 8th chapter. Also, when we are to pray, men are to uncover their head, women are to cover their head when praying or prophesying in the assembly, according to 1 Corinthians 11th chapter. Also, 1 Tim 2 and 8, we are to stretch forth our hands. Hold them up like a child is asking their parents to lift them up. As we hold hands, we don't pray in a circle, which is not biblically written. So y'all, we have to have order in everything that we do so that we're in unison. Can two walk together unless they agree?
No.
Amos 3:3.
That's
So
right.
y'all, with that, we're going to get our prayer on Psalm 62. With the Most High's permission, all praises. All praises. Long live the King. Long live the King.
Psalms, the 62nd chapter, starting at verse 1. Truly, my soul waiteth upon Yah. From him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. How long will ye imagine mischiefs against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you. As a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah. Selah. My soul, wait thou only upon Yah, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. In Yah is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in Yah. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. Yah is a refuge for us. Selah. Selah. Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie. To be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Yah hath spoken once, twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto Yah. Also unto thee, O Yahweh, belongeth mercy, for thou renderest to every man according to his work. Hallelujah! Selah! Yahoo! Yahoo!
All right, y'all, welcome, Shabbat Shalom family. Shabbat Shalom. All right, y'all, this Bible study, y'all know how it goes. If you got any questions or concerns, raise your hand, we'll get right to you. Y'all, like I say, this is a 3-hour class, so help yourself to some refreshments over there. You got any questions or concerns concerning this doctrine that we speak of from the order of Melchizedek, Christ Yeshua, commandments given to him by his Father. So we were at one time at Mount Sinai under the order of Aaron. So for y'all to understand what we're speaking of, that was a priesthood that did a lot of sacrificing with animals. for forgiveness of sins, so to speak, or atonement of sins. But now, y'all, we are after the order of Melchizedek prophesied in Psalm 110 and Hebrews 7 chapter. Y'all, this is a priesthood order. This is not an individual called Melchizedek. The only Melchizedek that we could call is the Father, the Almighty, because he's without father or mother. That's the only individual that we in existence without father or mother. Because we know the Messiah had a mother and he had a father.
That's right.
So he's not Melchizedek in that sense. He's only a high priest after the order of the Father. So once we understand that, y'all, when we quote law, then you'll understand it from that high priest perspective. We are all Melchizedek priests in here, a royal priesthood, as Peter speaks of. So y'all have to understand that perspective. Everything we teach will be from the priesthood of the Messiah. He's the high priest. Him alone. Ain't no generals, ain't no captains, ain't no 10/5 of a high priest, none of that. He's our high priest. He's our chief rabbi.
That's right.
So with that, y'all, anybody got any questions or concerns before we get into the topic at hand? Anything on your heart, mind, or soul? What you got, bro?
Okay, I mean, I was told not to make an issue, right? But the thing was that would it not be good to let our people know how important it is that our ancestors look the same way we did? You know?
Is it important to know that?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing is, like I said, to know this gospel. Because the outer cup means nothing right now. So you have to let them see the inner cup of us, or the light that's been given to us to show the rest of the world that we've been given the statutes, laws, and judgments, the keeping of the commandments, the oracles, Romans 3, 1 through 3, you know, 9th chapter of Romans, Psalm 119, Psalm 147. So y'all, all of these scripts lead to who we are as a people. But we first have to show ourselves a light unto the Gentiles, to all the other nations on planet Earth, that we are worthy to carry the torch, so to speak, for the Messiah, representing his name, which was given to him by the Father. So that first you would have to introduce, and then they'll get around to asking you who you are. Because once you let them know you have knowledge of this scripture, they'll eventually ask, so what faith are you? What religion, what denomination? And you at that point tell them, I'm of no denomination, but a follower of the Messiah, who was the follower of his father's law, statutes, and judgment. Then they'll keep asking, but wait a minute, you just sound strange, you know. And then at that point you can give them tribal origin, nationhood at that point. Because if you do it first, the first thing they're going to do is go directly toward the first thing that they've heard, and that's Israelites out there on the street corners cussing people out.
Yeah.
Israelites telling every person that walk by, you the devil, you going in slavery. That's the first thing they understand. If they have that prejudgment of you already, then it's going to be hard for them to hear the gospel. Because they thinking this is the only image they got in their mind. Two Negroes here on earth calling themselves the Messiah at the same time. Right. Benjamin Carter over there in the Demona Desert, and Hulan Mitchell down there in Florida. One was a bus driver out of Chicago, went back home and living in the desert of Demona till he died, and the other one down in Florida. On earth at the same time. Both of them claiming they the Messiah, and neither one of them called out each other. Neither one said, that's an imposter over there, that's an imposter, but they was in cahoots. You handle them over there, I'll handle them over here. But many shall come in their name, saying that they are Christ, and shall deceive many.
That's right.
So a few rules, y'all. We got bruh out at the door. We have an hourly rotation that we need to watch that door out there. So bruh, we got communication out there. So we need to rotate out to make sure that brother is relieved. You'll hear the class. We got a high-tech monitoring system out there. Yeah, that you'll hear the class as well, and communication. So y'all, we want to stay abreast that we don't overwork the one brother at the door. Y'all, we one family, y'all. We got to get in where we fit in and make sure everything is uniform. Also, y'all, we live streaming, so we got a baby nursery. The sisters done hooked up over there. Outstanding job they did. So if the shorties get a little rambunctious and, you know, bumping them and shaking them and giving them cookies or candy don't get it, you have to walk them out into a quiet area because we live stream. We got to make sure our worldwide audience is able to hear everything, y'all. So be mindful, y'all. This is what we're talking about. Always be mindful of what's going on. Did I answer your question, brother? Yes. Anybody else before we get started with our topic at hand? Anything on your heart, mind, and soul? Go ahead, bro.
What name do y'all call the Messiah?
We call him Exodus 20, the Word of God. So what we're talking about is when we hear what name you call him, we immediately ask Psalm 132, because it says his word is above all his name. So we're asking, what is that word that supersedes every name and title? You got that word?
I'm good. I'll be here.
What's that word? That word that supersedes all names, so that we don't get caught up in linguistics. Talking about what his name is. Some say Yahashua, some say Yehoshua, some say Yeshua, some say Yahawashah. So which one do we choose? But look, this is what you have to think right off the top. We were thrown out of Jerusalem for profaning his name. So what way, or what was half of them saying Yehoshua and the other half saying Yeshua, or were they saying Jesus? How did we profane his name when we was in our own land, had our own language, had our own navy, had our own air force, had our own stores, had our own priests, but yet we profaned his name? How did we do that in our own land, with our own language? How was that possible? See, so when you profane his name, you profane his laws, because that's his name.
That's right.
When you represent his laws, statutes, and judgments, you are telling the world, I am named by, I am in authority of. That's what name means, authority. He's given his son authority in his name, his word, which is the law, which he never broke, not one. It can't be found in scripture that the Messiah ever broke the Father's name. But we, the prophets, regular Israel, if we were still under the order of Aaron, we would still be in trouble, because we would sacrifice all of the animals into extinction. Enough sinning went on this morning would have Soulard Market short. So y'all, we want to get it understood. When you're talking about name, we start at the root of the problem. And the root was what's got us throughout.
Right.
And it wasn't how we pronounced his name. It was our behavior before the world. Shamed him. Just like if you tell your children, look, your children have your last name, but you tell them, don't you go to school and act up. Because if you do what? You ruin your parents' good name. They're known for discipline. No foolishness. And here you are putting tacks in the teacher's seat. Stink all over here. So now they have to call your parents at work because you acting a fool, ruined his good name. Or your father got a roofing business, known for picking up every screw and nail and scrap, precision on roof, and here he died and turned the business over to you. Now you done hired 10 people hanging around Home Depot. They leaving nails, shingles, stepping on hot shingles. They up there at 12 noon. Can't put no roof on that early. So now you have ruined your father's roofing business, his good name. So if it ain't that, then we need a title that supersedes his word and his laws, statutes, and judgments. If that ain't out there, then y'all, we have to keep moving, or we're going to get caught up in linguistics.
Exactly.
Because none of us in here speak pure Hebrew. Who? Raise your hand. All of it's watered down.
Right.
Zephaniah said, at that time I will return to you what my name is and what the pure language is. Pure means without defilement, without leaven. Every name we know of the Messiah has got an English dialect in it. It's like 14 karat gold. There's impurities in it to make it a percentage of gold. Not like the gold, the gold on the streets of the kingdom is pure. It looks almost transparent.
That's right.
You can ball it up in your hand like Reynolds wrap. If we ain't talking about a pure language or a pure name like that, we wasting our time. So y'all, with that, y'all, we're gonna move on. You got any other questions concerning that, bro? So we wanna, we don't wanna say without proving what we're saying. Did you have a name or any topic concerning a name that supersedes what we just said, the word of the Most High?
The book of Zechariah,
What chapter and verse?
chapter 3.
Let's go to Zechariah chapter 3.
Zechariah 3. So what are we going here?
Then we're going to go to Psalms 138, 1 and 2. We're going to get to some Ezekiel 36 chapter. And we're going to deal with how does the name get profaned. Because we have to deal with the root of the subject. We can't talk about middle passage when we got here and the name was stripped from us. There was a reason before we got here, before we went to Babylonian misunderstanding. Before we started to battle.
We can get out.
Zechariah, right? 3rd chapter.
Zechariah 3. What verse? What verse you reading from, bro?
Hold on. Hold on. 3 and what?
3 and what, bro?
Go ahead, verse 1.
What was those other two, Daniel, you said you want to go?
You're going to go to Psalm 138.
Psalm 138.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Okay, Ezekiel. Zechariah 3.
And then we're going to put down Zephaniah 3:9. That's where we're going to go. So let's hit the Zechariah chapter 3, verse 1. Bro called it out. Let's get it. And then y'all, we'll get to our topic at hand, biblical gainsaying, because, y'all, we'll have a lot of this, and it's going to fit right into the lesson at hand. So good call, bro. Go ahead.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 1.
What'd it say?
And he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Most High, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him.
Okay. You want us to keep going? Or you explaining why we're going?
We ain't gonna read the whole chapter.
No, we ain't gonna read the whole chapter.
Right, you saying go ahead with your hand, bro.
No, I'm saying we're going right to the point, to the subject matter.
Yeah, we're trying to get some understanding, for the assembly. We're not here to take instruction from you. You got a point. Let's get to the point. Let's not dilly-dally around this. We got an agenda here.
Is this the Messiah ascended into the heavens, as well as Satan being in the presence?
Yeah. Well, Satan is never ascended to the right hand of the Father, if that's what you mean.
Right.
No, he's only can go to a certain level. So we're gonna get to the root of that when we get into Enoch 48 chapter. We're gonna get into a little bit of that so you'll understand that as well. So when you see in the book of Job, or you see in the book of Jasher, when Satan is asking the Lord, what about Abraham? You talking about my servant him? What about my servant Job? This is a repeated event. This is not a one-time event. Satan is supernatural. Let's get that understood. He can travel back and forth. That's his power. He's the prince of the air. So traveling to outside of what we call planet Earth is no problem for him, because we know where he was threw down from. So we have to also understand he's supernatural. We are trying to become, as Adam was created, called preternatural. If you will, get them definitions for me so we can explain this real quick. Get that definition right there. Supernatural, preternatural, and the natural man. There's 3 groups of people, or 3 groups of creation that we're trying to ascend to. Being the sons of Adam, what we're trying to do is get out of this natural state and become preternatural. That means of a natural born individual, the way we were born, with supernatural qualities that elevate us to preternatural, the same shape Adam was born in. Adam was born preternatural, from earthly dirt with a supernatural spirit. Angels, the Messiah, all of that creation beforehand is pure supernatural. Meaning they can transform or embody certain things. Individuals, supernatural, can be before the class, or they actually could manifest before individuals, disappear, turn into a flame of fire. And I'm not talking about nothing that's already written.
Hey, Daniel.
The book of, go ahead.
When Satan showed the Messiah all the kingdoms of the earth.
Right, absolutely.
You know, from the beginning of that time when he was in the desert, those 40 days and 40 nights, he showed him the future. He showed him all the kingdoms, or told him you can have all of this.
If you do what?
If you bow down and worship me.
So,
but he was able to, as he's speaking about transforming, so he was able to show him different times.
Right.
And they can go in different places.
Right.
You know, in the book of the second Esdras, the Lord asked Esdras, "Can you bring me back a day that has passed?"
Right.
So this is the thinking that these things exist, and these things, they can do these things. We can't do them, but they can.
See, and what he's speaking of is Matthew 4:4, when Satan had that conversation with the Messiah. But what we're want you to understand is the difference in those two individuals. That was a contest between both supernatural individuals. Messiah had been fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. He hadn't ate or drank when this supernatural encounter took place. So we want to get it understood. When you are dealing with our adversary, you are dealing with a supernatural individual that you cannot think carnally that you're going to defeat this. Ain't no 9mm going to deal with supernatural.
We got a question.
Ain't no cuss words going to deal with supernatural. It's supernatural. It's beyond this. It'll be right there standing in front of you, and then it'll disappear and have you doing like this. And then touch you on your shoulder, and you look around and it's gone. If you ain't straight up here and sober up here, you will run in the middle of traffic and get killed. Because we're dealing with the invisible that will manifest itself at a drop of a dime. But we ain't going to belabor that. We want to get right to the point. Let's finish back up to Zechariah 3. I don't want to lose this point.
Well, yeah, look what...
Mary, you got a question over there.
No, I'm saying though, before we get to you, sis, I want, because we don't want to jump and then have to come back. We just want to deal with this, and then we'll come right to you, sis.
But his question is...
The name, the pure name
the
of
name
the Lord.
of the Messiah.
Yeah, we went, and he said go to Zechariah 3. So, or is it just 3 and 1? You were just asking, is that the Lord and the Messiah up there with the Father, and Satan is up there talking noise too?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Is the question just what do we call him? Because, you know, Yeshua, Yahaya, what's the question?
Right, I'm just saying, so how does that apply to a name because those 3 are there? Are you saying it because the word Joshua is used, or?
Right.
Okay, well, all that's saying is the high priest standing before him, and he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing. You know, Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord. The question is, who is the angel of the Lord? We get that in Joshua 5th chapter, that Joshua met the angel of the Lord and bowed to him. And it was told him, if you didn't listen to him, then he's the partner of transgressions. And this in the Old Testament. So this is what we're seeing once again. Who is the angel of the Lord? Who represents? This is a total different individual. The angel of the Lord. Satan masquerades as the angel of the Lord, but he's an impostor. The angel of the Lord is the Messiah. He's the captain of the host. He's the intercessor for mankind. The supernatural intercessor that's able to pardon transgressions, that will be given the kingdom of this world to run it through eternity in a righteous dictatorship. Either you're going to get down or you're going to lay down with the rules of that. And if no nation comes up to accept that, then they'll get no rain, as Zechariah 14th chapter prophesies. They have to come up to Jerusalem. and basically send an ambassador of their nation up to accept the law, statute, judgment, and commandment, and that this people is Israel. If you don't, no rain. No rain, no what?
No crops.
No crops. No crops, no what?
No life. Period. Bottom line.
No teeth chewing. No nothing. No rain, no Kool-Aid. What else you gonna make it with? Can't make Kool-Aid with milk. So, bro, with that, let's get right to Psalm 138 chapter.
138, 1, 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. So, y'all, we want to get here just to so that we understand names, so we don't get caught up, because you're going to end up in a stalemate. Which name is the most correct name? You got a whole group out here talking about Yahweh. That's the name. That's the name in Exodus said, my name shall be called the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Forever, throughout every generation. Look, if we say the Messiah, if I just say, who are you talking about, the Redeemer? The mighty one of Jacob? I can keep using titles.
Right.
Which one ain't going? Who you talking about, Emmanuel?
The Bishop of Souls.
The Bishop of Souls, the rock of our salvation. Where does that stop? Those are titles.
Shiloh.
But the word of the Most High stands the test of time. That's our covenant. That's our marriage certificate in Exodus 20. Because we married to him, ain't we? So in the Jeremiah 3:14, he said, I'm married to y'all. Where did that marriage take place? Mount Sinai. And when he came down with the covenant right here, this is our marriage covenant.
Yes. Yes.
Written in stone. And then he sprinkled the people with the blood like hymen blood of a virgin. And we was married to him there. Then we got so wicked he had to divorce us in that same 8th chapter of Jeremiah. I had to give you a writing of divorcement. But he allowed no nation to buy us. Because the script go on to say, shall a man marry the same woman he put away again? Ain't nobody married us again. We flirted with other gods, Buddha, Egypt gods, Canaanite gods of Babylon, we flirted with. But we ain't been married to nobody else.
But see, my thing is this, bro, and I don't like to see when brothers get caught up on semantics talking about a name. The scriptures say the volume of the book, it is written of me.
Right.
If we pray to this same power that's in heaven, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, how you gonna let that be a stumbling block to you when you getting in the way of your own self because you worried about what somebody calling him?
Well, and not to cut you off, bro, but this is what we're saying. He may not understand what we're talking about.
that.
From the order of Melchizedek, the order of Aaron, and these doctrines of the modern day Pharisees get you stuck on a name.
Are we reading out the same book?
Right. So look, the Sunday church worship are stuck on the name of Jesus. Should we say that? Is it any documentation out there that say we can't say it? Because if you look up Jesus, just don't say salvation.
That's right.
In the Hebrew.
That's right.
Rendered from Joshua, salvation. That's going to be a problem for anybody with the name of when you look up Jesus and it says salvation. So either he is or he's the son of Zeus. Now produce that paperwork.
That's what I'm saying.
For us to see. If you ain't got it, it ain't there. Zeus was the son of Thor. Or vice versa. But the Messiah, Yeshua, pronounced in the English tongue as Jesus Christ, the Savior
Of the world.
No, we don't have a problem with that either. Because it's just a title.
Right.
When John the Baptist asked, are you him? What did he tell him? Y'all go tell John what I do. The blind see, the lame walk, the sick are what? Healed. Demons told what? Get going. Then let him tell you what my name is. Because all he gonna say is the promised Messiah. The Lamb of Yah. That's who it is. But those are titles. If we discussing this word and I say, who you talking about, the Lamb of Yah? What you gonna say? No, you gotta say Yahweh Shai.
Right. I mean, it causes division and separation, and it shouldn't be there.
Absolutely, but like you're saying, we get to the point that where we get beside the law because both sides of Hebrew Christianity, which is these alphabet camps, modern day Pharisees and Sadducees, that create their own high priests. And one group don't believe in the supernatural. They're Sadducees, so they don't believe in angels. Those groups are among us to this day.
Right.
So you don't look at this Bible like a smooth reed and put it on the shelf. This is so you see actually what our people were seeing 2,000 years ago, the same individuals. These are just the sons of those Pharisees.
Exactly.
Who promote different names to throw you off base and give themselves fancy titles and broaden their phylactery. And on the Sunday side of worship, they do the same exact thing. If you don't say Jesus, you can't be saved. Well, how do you say it and say the commandments are done away with?
Right.
So what Jesus are you talking about? Because everywhere in here, all through John, 1 John, 2 John, keep the commandments and do what? Live. How shall I enter into everlasting life? The man asked, what did he tell him? Keep the commandments and live. So how you got a doctrine? We don't know what Jesus you talking about. That one say you don't have to keep commandments. We talking about the one that say you do.
That's right. That's right.
It's the same way with these modern day Pharisees that get you stuck on the name and then run you rampant and make you their servants.
Right.
Because that's what you're going to be if they kill all white folks and everybody out of other nations. Who's going to be their slave? But you.
Right.
So y'all, Psalm 138.
138.
Verse 1 and 2.
138. I will praise thee with my whole heart.
With how much of your heart?
My whole heart.
Right.
Before the gods will I sing praise unto thee. 2. I will worship towards thy holy temple.
That's what we did today when we prayed. We turned toward the temple. Now look, the temple in Jerusalem, that's where it says, Isaiah's 2nd chapter as well. The word of the Lord comes from Zion. So we just turned toward that, but when we was in the wilderness, we followed the Ark of the Covenant. That could have been turned north. And we had to turn toward the Ark of the Covenant. It was the tabernacle of the Lord. Before David set up shop in Hebron, before David set up shop in Hebron, we were following the same Ark of the Covenant, buried up on the shoulders of the Levites. His law was in those 10 commandments. That's what we turn toward, his law. If we get caught on names, you're going to be chasing a Benjamin Carter. You're going to be chasing a Hulon Mitchell, a Jim Jones, or a David Koresh. Now here he is, got glasses on, and talking about he's Revelation 5. He's the one been chosen to unlock the 7 seals.
Keys to the kingdom.
How are you going to unlock 7 seals and you got these on? If you can't see, how you going to heal the blind? First tip off not to be deceived. You got to go see the eye doctor before you start teaching class. Jim Jones, I'm going to take you over here to this island that wasn't equipped like Gilligan's Island. And you believe that's the kingdom that's talked about in Revelations. Streets of gold, gates of pearl. And you think palm trees and living in mud huts, this and mosquitoes eating you alive.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
No.
Read some more.
2 again.
That new wine.
2 again. I will worship towards thy holy temple.
That's right.
And praise thy name.
And praise thy what?
And praise thy name.
Go ahead.
For thy loving kindness and for thy truth. For thy loving kindness and for thy truth.
Right.
For thou hast magnified.
He has done what?
Has magnified.
What does magnify mean, y'all? Huh? To make bigger and larger and what? And clearer. Go ahead.
And magnify, thou hast magnified thy word above all thy names.
See, we have to have an answer for that. It's been magnified above all thy names. All of the titles that the Messiah would be called, those were titles. Mighty Counselor, the Everlasting Father, Shiloh, all of these, the word of the Most High stand above all of those, because those titles have to represent the law. They can't void the law. No title is bigger than the law. Any man calling himself reverend, that's bigger than the law, because Psalm 111, 9 and 10 call no man reverend.
Right.
Holy and reverend is the Most High's name.
That's right.
Matthew 23:8 call no man Holy Father.
Because none is your father.
Don't go in the closet with the Pope. May not be good. Turn a lot of altar boys to altered boys. Going up in that closet.
Daniel.
Think you in there with the Holy Father.
This kid at the job yesterday called me OG tribe leader.
OG tribe leader. More game saying that we're going to talk about today.
But he mixed it.
Right.
OG tribe leader.
Y'all, so we can hold there, and that's just one, but let's just hit this last one, then we're going to move, sister, we get your question. Ezekiel 36 chapter. Ezekiel 36 chapter, y'all, just want to get this understanding, y'all, so we know why we got through out of Jerusalem. That we didn't get through out, maybe 16, well, y'all, 36, let me look at 16. Profane thy holy name.
32.
Y'all go 36, let me see if it's 36. Maybe 16. Verse 23? 23? Where that's at?
21. Chapter 36, starting verse
16? 36, 16, yeah. Yeah, that sometimes ain't kicked in already yet. 36, 16. Let's get it.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto
Hold on, I hear pages flip. Y'all, we have to, if pages is flipping, we have to have you caught up with us so that you can teach this. If you can't teach what it's saying, you're going to be saying to the brothers down there. And that's going to be a problem with anybody that's trying to get some understanding if you say them brothers down there. Go ahead.
16. 36 and 16. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land.
Where we dwell? Read louder, go ahead, brother.
When they dwelt in their own land, they defiled it.
What they do?
They defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman.
So y'all understand this, what we were in our own land. As the uncleanness of a removed woman, meaning that time of the month.
Right.
That's how all our actions were. Now, if that make you frown up, it's supposed to. Because it needs to compare our ways to something that you look at as ungodly.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, 18. Wherefore I poured out my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon my land.
What we do?
Shed blood upon his land.
This black on black crime. This Israelites killing Israelites in the land. What you killing me in the name of Yehoshua? Yehoshua, I strike you down in the land.
Oh, no.
Yeshua,
Oh.
Jesus.
Don't do it, Daniel.
No, we know they wasn't killing about that. Go ahead, bro.
And for the blood that they had shed upon the land.
Right.
And for their idols. And for their idols.
Right.
Wherewith they had polluted.
So how did we pollute the Lord's name? With idols.
Right.
Cross.
So if we're calling, we weren't calling the name of the Father the many different variations, we were calling on other gods.
That's right.
In the land. Calling on Buddha, calling on this. Y'all, now if we done that at home, and we breaking the back and jaws of them here, hell, you calling on that false god, same thing we did at home. That's the question I had. Oh, you talking about the same thing we did at home. And what we see this is law breaking. Now, if we're law breaking, then prove the name that we say God is is an idol. And we say his name is Exodus chapter 20. The commandments. The word of God. That's his name. It's called the Word. This is the Word of God. The Holy Bible. If it ain't, and you feel it's got tamperings in it, just scratch holy off of it. Holy means sanctified, set apart.
That's right.
If this has been tampered with, scratch holy off of it. Be fair about it. Because it can't be holy at that point. It cannot be set apart at that point if it's blemished. The only thing they blemishing it is up here and have you chasing different things. Go ahead, read some more, sister. We're going to get to you. Go ahead.
Short leg of time.
Short leg of time. Short leggers. Who in here? We ain't got but a couple. 11 and under. Short leg of class. There they go. Y'all gonna learn a little Hebrew. Gonna learn y'all culture.
I want to see some report cards.
There's Uncle OG.
Take that down.
Ezekiel 36 and 19.
Take it down 22.
Take it down to 22.
Yes.
Ezekiel 36 and 19.
Uh-huh.
And I scattered them among the heathen.
Right.
And they were dispersed through the country.
Right.
According to their way, and according to their doings, I judged them.
Now Jeremiah 17 say Judah was sent wholly in captivity. All of Judah, all y'all get out there because we saw what treacherous the 10 tribes were doing. They say Judah did worse.
Yeah.
Right.
They out the land and you see why they got run, and then you do even worse than them. And he judged us by our doings. So we have to understand why certain tribes, or what certain tribes are. Why certain tribes get their neck, like Genesis 49 talked about. Judah, the majority of Judah on the four corners, neck gonna be in the hands of their enemies. Go ahead, read some more.
36 and 20. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned.
Go ahead.
Again, 20. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name.
Right.
When they said to them, these are the people of the Lord, and are going forth out of his land. Like
every nation look at us today, you got to be kidding. I know these ain't the people of God. These niggas, these niggas crazy. These are the people of God.
And they right, yep, these niggas crazy.
These ones with their pants down to the back of their kneecaps.
Yep.
Oh, Maury.
Men now showing their rear end like they in a beauty pageant instead of the women. This Israel. This Israel doing this right here. This Israel now taking on every challenge that come up on TV. Cold water challenge, ice challenge.
Planking.
Rob somebody and put the money on YouTube challenge.
Kill somebody and put
it on there. This the people of Israel. This is what the world want. Y'all want the world to believe this is it. 14% of a nation and 80% of the jail population. This is who y'all want us to believe is Israel. Well, yeah, y'all know it. Because you come after us for singing.
Yep.
You come after us for inventions. All you come after us for building because we got those skills.
Sports.
You ask us to sing them songs of Zion.
That's right.
In a strange land.
In a strange land.
Let's read some more.
21.
What it say?
But I had pity for mine holy people, for mine holy name.
What did he have pity for?
For my holy name.
See, the pity is about his name.
That's right.
About us.
Who we were being represented. We were his name.
Yep.
We were his name, y'all. But we didn't shame that name. Y'all, do y'all know we the only people that they have a separate newspaper for? Especially here in St. Louis called The World.
The World. I was in it.
Come on, dog.
Where else can you go to a convenience store and see a paper in the glass of Negro crimes in a week?
Behind the counter.
18 pages of a week worth of crime.
They make it so bad when they have it posted up on the thing, you get a crowd of people standing around and the line don't move because you just sitting there reading all the news of what's going on.
The world paper. Have y'all seen a Chinese paper? Hing Hong?
Yep.
A Russian paper?
Yep.
I'm talking about just an individual paper that talks about the crime. East St. Louis used to have a monitor. Same thing. Yep. The crimes of Israel. What you got to say?
So, you know, they've been dropping statistics of St. Louis and Missouri. They said, you know, we were number 13
in the world.
Dangerous. Well, Friday they said that Missouri is, the state of Missouri has the highest black homicide rate. That we're 13% in Missouri, but we're 51% of the homicides in the state. So
y'all have to understand, last slave state. Gateway to the West, so to speak. Y'all, that arch ain't there for entertainment.
Right.
It's lined up perfectly so when the sun rises, the light shines through the arch onto the courthouse steps. Y'all, these items are set up in these places. These are portals for a certain reason. These are just monuments. Oh, look at it. No, it was designed for a reason. Largest man-made structure on the planet. Where we at?
21 again.
Right, sis, I'm coming to you. Go ahead.
But I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went. 22. Therefore, say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which you have profaned among the heathen wherever you went.
Right.
And I will sanctify, 23, and I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord.
That's right.
Saith the Lord God. When I shall be sanctified in you.
In who?
In you.
That's right.
Before their eyes.
Now we're going to read down to 26 because this is how that's going to be done, and then we're going to get right to Zephaniah 3, y'all. We're going to move on to the class after we get sis' question. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. 24. For I will take you from among the heathen.
Right.
And gather you out of all countries.
Some countries.
All countries.
Just a few countries.
All countries.
Go ahead.
And will bring you into your own land.
Right.
Then I will sprinkle clean water upon you.
Right.
And ye shall be clean from all your filthiness. You shall be clean from all your filthiness and from all your idols. And I will cleanse you.
Right.
A new heart.
A new what?
A new heart. Also I will give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take you away.
I will take away.
I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh. And I will give you a heart of flesh.
Read that verse 27.
27. I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them.
Right.
And ye, 28, and ye shall dwell in the land that I give to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your God.
So we can hold that now. So we're seeing what got us drove out the land. Let's just hit that Zephaniah 3:8. Y'all, we're going to go and get to our subject matter at hand because it's going to cover a lot of this, sister. Now we get your question as soon as we hit the Zephaniah because we want to get clear on the name.
You got the 3:8.
Y'all, we just want to be clear on what's prophesied to come. In this flesh, y'all, that we've reduced ourselves back to natural, and I still want that supernatural, not preternatural, and natural, so you understand. Y'all, we got to try to get to preternatural. You got to try to walk in the spirit of the law, not in the letter of the law, because all the letter of the law does is kill it. The letter of the law is Leviticus 18. It start off, don't be like these other nations. If you do, I'm going to put you down. If you do this, I'm going to slay you. I'm going to take away your whole house. If you do this, it start off with the letter killing. But the spirit of the law, when you understand the law, don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't kill, don't covet thy neighbor's possession. When you know that and you start to walk in the spirit of the law, if you see a wallet right there and it's black and 300 sticking out of it, and you left the house and yours brown with receipts in it that you're going to take something back to get a little change, that ain't your wallet. You know that before you even reach for it. You think them 300s just done showed up like Christians talk about? They looked in the mail and there was a gift in there. And I seen some money in there from the bank of nowhere. What bank it come from? Where you gonna cash that money at? So in like manner, y'all, we can't play games with this.
Hey, Daniel,
don't
make
fool
that 7
yourself.
and 9.
Where we at?
That Zephaniah, make that 7 and 9. 7
Okay,
to 9.
we'll get it. We'll get it.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna run back first though to that Ezekiel. Y'all ain't got to turn back to it on that Ezekiel 36 and 23, where it says, "And I will sanctify my great name," which means that they knew his great name,
That's
but
right.
which was profaned among the heathens. You knew the name, and then you start clowning in front of company with the name.
At home.
Right.
At home.
Which ye have profaned in the midst of them people. And the heathen shall know that I am the Most High, saith the Most High Yah, when I shall be sanctified in you. When you get your act together, then we'll be going to the Zephaniah, and he'll tell you he's going to restore a pure language.
Right.
But then it says, when I shall be sanctified in you, when you get your act together, before their eyes.
Right.
So you know how to act in front of company.
That's right.
So now we're going to go to that Zephaniah.
Boy, that's a stain, ain't it? How to act in front of company.
Right, they clowning. You already knew the name, but then you profaned it. You knew what to do and didn't do it.
Yeah.
So now you want to come back on this? What's the name? No, the whole book, man, do this. This is what it is. But he tells you, we're going to go Zephaniah chapter 3, starting at 7.
Go ahead, brother.
And it reads, I said, surely thou wilt fear me. Thou wilt receive instruction. So their dwelling should not be cut off. However, I punished them. But they rose early and corrupted all their doing. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Most High, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then will I turn to the people a pure language.
What kind of language?
A pure language.
We can argue Paleo Hebrew. We can argue Shiddish, Yiddish. You can argue all the language you want, but what you won't be able to argue is if it's pure. That's right. See, we got Hebrews arguing even the language of it.
Right.
You got one of them ABC camps hollering Laodicea, I forget the name of it, some other form of Hebrew, saying it's the most pure. But you know what? Ain't no documents of it here on earth. If it is, it's in the Vatican. You Negroes ain't got one. So how you gonna teach from it and it ain't out here? You just talking about it. Boy admitted on TV, Mal told him, look man, y'all ain't even got the book. Ain't nobody got that book. Yeah, but we got faith. So we supposed to have faith in something you're trying to promote that's still watered down.
Yes.
It's still got leavening in it because every dialect that you pronounce it in has an English flavor on it. Remove the vowels and characters and speak it. Speak a conversation then. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 9 again.
What it say?
For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Most High, to serve him with one consent.
To do what?
To serve him with one consent.
See, y'all, everybody has to know the name. I'm just not talking about Israel. Israel got 1,000 names they call the Messiah. You get into the 68th chapter of Jasher, because Moses was a foreshadowing of the Most High. He had 8 to 10 names that Israel called him. All Israel called, they didn't call Moses Moses. The children of Israel called him Shemaiah.
And what we supposed to say? We got the name down here, right here in the basement of the Sirius building. Come down here. No, it's the book.
How many names you had growing up?
1,000.
There we go. We the only people that do that. I'd be like, why don't you just name them Poo Poo or Ray Ray?
Right.
You know,
Man.
put them right on the birth certificate. Because whatever we get names. If we think about this, we always talked about us riding around together and then the cops pull you over. What's his name? Lazarus?
Yeah.
What's his name? Uriah? What kind of names is them?
Right.
What niggas' names is that?
Right.
Then, no, what's his real name? I don't know. Every first 48 episode, all we know him is black.
Right. And they look up those names.
Yeah, they're already in the computer.
How many blacks we got in the system drive a red Honda?
Boom, he right there.
3 hubcaps missing. Oh, we got his address. We got his address.
They go right to him every time.
Look, all of us got a friend, man. You know Robert. What Robert? Black Robert work at the tire shop. That's different from Black Robert work at Walmart.
Right.
We the only people in this world that they always put AKA behind. Muhammad Ali, AKA Cassius Clay. They want the world to know y'all the descendants of the slave. Malcolm X, AKA Malcolm Little.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, AKA Alou Alcindor.
And on and on.
Yeah.
Daniel Solomon, AKA Lil Dink. That's what they used to call him. That's what they used to call him in the project.
You told that to the world?
Yeah.
All right, look, Dick. All right, look, brother Dick.
That was a cartoon.
All right, brother.
So y'all, we can hold that. Sis, go ahead. Give me your question. We're going to move on with this lesson. Go ahead, sis.
It was just a couple statements. And that was that when we were talking about we were more than what we are now. I was reading one of the older books, and it's saying that atoms could see through the universe.
Yeah. Right.
I was watching that nigga. I was watching that nigga from the
The vision we actually vision, that's the vision of what we used to be able to see the universe in that.
Right.
And one of their ways of depicting people with melanin in our skin or fever is that the closest they could do was when they created Superman. And they said, this is a Superman, but what they did not tell you that Superman, the idea came from a melanated person, which is what we used to be like, being able to leap over, you know,
Right.
because of the strength in our bodies.
Judah.
To be able to bend steel because of the strength, and that gives you an idea of how people, melanated men can run so hard, or
Naphtali.
we can run fast.
Cross the stalks of
Right.
corn and not bend.
But what we don't want to get caught up in is because when we say melanated, does that include all the dark nations? Does that include the Hamites? See, so we have to make a distinction when we say dark melanin. It's only attributed to one people, Deuteronomy 7 and 6. You know, it's this people Israel, that is Genesis 49. It's the testament of the 12 patriarchs that breaks down, and when it compares one people, because we don't want to get caught and say dark melanin, because they'll say, well, y'all been in slavery, y'all mixed up. So the Africans those ones who never had white blood or any other blood running through their veins should be winning a 100-yard dash, should be having the vocals of Whitney Houston, should have a moonwalking like Michael Jackson, should have the brain of Dr. Ben Carson, should have that. They should have, because their melanin should be more pure. But they didn't get that covenant in Genesis 15 chapter. They didn't get that. That went through Abraham to Isaac to Jacob to his 12 sons. That's who it went to, even though we are similar to them in complexion. We got the bloodline. And that goes for male or female. Whoever we mate with, we dominate that race out. If it wasn't so, slavery would have got rid of us in Egypt. Y'all look, you sisters wasn't mad at brothers. This was in Egypt first. When you saw a Hebrew man with an Egyptian sister. Look at him with that old black ass woman. I
can't stand her black
I hope
ass.
them kids black as charcoal. Now our captors are just white. So now you hate them when you look at them with that old white heifer. Can't stand it. I hope that baby hair come out nappy instead of fine and curly.
Why should he have all the
So,
stuff?
y'all, it's the same understanding, y'all. We have to understand who we've been captive to. And if it's anything outside of Israel, we're going to lash out at it. So, y'all, it ain't just happened here in this captivity. It was in Egypt the same way. The scriptures that talk about it, y'all, all day long, about sisters' bloodline dominating the other races. Because if it wasn't so, y'all, they would have got rid of us in slavery through miscegenation. It's as simple as getting rid of all the male, and then you take on the women, and then you dominate the whole thing. Israel would be no more at that point. That would be the easy thing to do for us. But they got a problem. Because in their constitution, 1/5 of our blood dominates everybody else.
That's why they got a problem with that mixed sister marrying their prince.
Yes, sir. Yeah. They got a problem with that. Her Negro side. Marrying the prince? Nigga blood.
In the palace?
Did I answer your question, sister? But I'm with you on that point. The only thing we have to do is separate it so we separate ourselves from the other dark nations. Like in that Zonda, when it talks about Ham, the father of all the dark nations. But not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Canaanites, the Libyans, but not the Negroes. They're a different set of dark-skinned people. Go ahead, y'all. We got to move on. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
I'm saying now that when Africans know that you know you're different from them, they get a little peeved now. That you can point them out and know the difference and explain who you are. If once upon a time they make a fool out of you, didn't know your history.
Right.
But now when you let them know that we ain't, because I had it happen to me. Or while they said at my job, said, oh, y'all the same. And I said, no, we ain't the same.
That's right.
She a Hamite, not some Hebrew.
Uh-oh.
And you know, you should have seen the look on the Hamite's face. Because the white girl asked her, is that true? You know what she said?
Yes, she know it's true.
That's true.
They know it. They'll tell you they're different from them. Y'all different from them. Look, y'all, we always been at war with giants. Look, every other dark race, and I'm going to say this, I'll move on, about sports. When they name Akeem Olajuwon, that great Nigerian, they tell where he come from. Have they ever heard any nation over there in Africa, one of them 300 countries or so, where we come from? Christian Okoye, the Nigerian nightmare. When they gonna say Jordan, the Judite king?
No, Chicagoland.
They're not going to do it, y'all, so they set us apart from the other nations. Y'all, so we have to understand the difference in this, y'all. So when we shed that light, we got to make sure we're not profaning his name. And that ain't the first thing to come out the gate. We Israel, we Israel. They're like, there they go. That's them curses of old women and children.
Whether we like it or not.
Whether we like it or not.
Whether we like it or not, we set apart. Whether we gonna be for the positive, for Christ, or for the negative.
That's right.
But we set apart. You can't deny that, period. That's right.
Y'all, we're gonna get on with this lesson, y'all, because we gotta catch up a little bit. Who got questions? You got a question? Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, D. Sorry about that.
Well, I got a couple of things. One thing, last night, I think the last on the news they called them the dudes. And that flew right over everybody's head. They just sitting there. They called
Queen of Prince Charles, because his
so,
mama say she gonna let him take over after she died.
Yeah,
Finally.
they called them the dudes. And they, you know, they
Dukes and T-Mons.
Right, they don't even know nothing about it in the Bible. Another thing they said,
they labeled 1, 2, 3, supernatural, preternatural, and holy natural. Yeah, all three.
Yeah, I heard that too yesterday.
And they gonna have somebody standing by if they, you know, how they little episode. And I'm like, man, I ain't giving them people to look at them, and we working every day and can't even afford it, so, you know. But they making drug houses of people who own drugs.
Yeah. Right, well, it's an epidemic for another group of people now.
Right.
They're like, how did y'all get through the crack epidemic?
Right. It's still standing.
Put it out there.
All right, see, but it's just boomeranging on them now. The whitest place in America, Huntsville, Virginia. Over 30 to 40 overdoses every day. It's the capital of overdosing on opioids. 99.5% white. It's an epidemic now though, y'all, but when it was on us, it's just crazy Negroes. Niggas' light went out.
Resisted arrest.
They done turned the light of the Lord into a big light. On a street corner, in a dope house, in a trap house. Y'all said something, I wanted to do something here. And let me say this while I'm gonna come back to that name too, but this is natural, y'all. Natural. Present in or produced by nature. Not artificial or man-made. That's natural. That's from the earth. That's what Adam was taken from. Preternatural. P-R-E-T-E-R. Natural. Out of or beyond the normal course of nature. Differing from the natural. Abnormal, exceptional. That's preternatural. That's when the spirit come on us and we do supernatural things. Like when you see a man run 110 yards in less than 9 seconds, you know something is phenomenal about that. When you see a man fly from the free throw line and put it down. Now, in the 12th testament of the 12 patriarchs, it talks about Judah, and Judah used to raise deer and horses in so many furlongs and would outrun. He would race a hind backwards. Now, the only people that they ever showed here racing horses is Ben Johnson. Michael Johnson. Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson. Something about them Johnson boys can keep up with horses.
Say not Johnson and Johnson.
Right. So y'all, they got the records and they look at the Olympics and they say this Judah. When you see a Floyd Mayweather and they put him in there with somebody else supposed to be the knockout king. And at round 2, he gasping, sucking all the oxygen out of the arena because he can't hit it. But Floyd ain't got no punching power. Well, I tell you what, one of his may knock you down, but Floyd keep hitting you with 7 of them. You soon and you miss it, going to get weak and going to crash head first like Goliath. If Elvis dreamed he could wiggle hips like any of them. She'd have been in a wheelchair, just thinking about it. That was preternatural. Supernatural. Of or pertaining to existence outside the natural world. Not attributable to natural forces. Attributed to the immediate exercise of divine power, miraculous. Of or pertaining to the miraculous. That's why the Messiah was able to do the miracles he was doing, because he was supernatural in the beginning. He lowered himself to preternatural. The Father did. But he was still doing supernatural things, walking on water, calming storms, storing water to wine. The blind seeing, the lame walking. Get up, man. Time to go home. Take your bed up and go home.
Fish in the loaves.
fishing the loaves. Y'all, and this was the example to show the world who we are. And when they see us, but Deuteronomy 28 said we'll be a proverb, a byword, astonishment.
Mm-hmm.
When they see you running with a stolen TV, look at that nigga. When they see you running a 100-yard dash or breaking through an open field tackle and you gone, look at that nigga.
Hey, I know my
betting on the line, they the winners. They cheering you on. Woo! You can jump in the stands with it, but run a red light after leaving the stadium and see what happens. Woo! Chad Johnson pulled over. Couldn't outrun them 357 slugs.
Then they'd
like
be like,
he outran the horse.
Then they'd be like, look at that nigga.
Yeah, absolutely. Driving past. Won me a little money today, but look at it. Y'all see what they doing to Tiger Woods now? Huh? Y'all see what they did to OJ? OJ could have just kept his mouth closed, moved to Ireland, and been the king of white women. But no. Let's get it, y'all. Tiger, they wearing Tiger out. Tiger ain't been no good since he got caught trying to be a playboy.
They're trying to be.
How many he had? 122 women. Yeah.
You want that jazz shit?
Yeah, now this is the last one about names, y'all. We're gonna move on because we're getting low on time. And when we talk about names and you have people that try to talk about Jesus and they ain't understanding his salvation, who named Moses? Who named him? Who named him? The Egyptians named Moses. So is it an Egyptian name? Ain't nobody crying and hollering at Old Testament believers. Pharaoh's daughter named him and said, because I drew him from the water. Moses. But yet, ain't nobody comparing that to Jesus. But look what Israel called him. This in the book of Jasher, 68th chapter. What verse you at?
We'll start at verse 24.
What it say?
It reads, and at the end of 2 years, when the child grew up, she brought him to the daughter of Pharaoh, and he was unto her as a son. And she called his name Moses.
That's what Pharaoh's daughter named him. Moses. Go ahead.
For she said, because I drew him out of the water.
That's right.
And Amram, his father, called his name Kabar.
Now, Moses' daddy called him Kabar. Go ahead.
For he said, it was for him that he associated with his wife, whom he had turned away.
See, he turned away his wife because they was killing all the male children. He burned out. Moses' daddy took off. Said he was going to get a loaf of bread and they hadn't seen him no more. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 26. And Jochebed, his mother, called his name Jekuthiel.
That's what his mama called him, Jekuthiel. Go ahead.
Because she said, I have hoped for him to the Almighty, and Yah restored him unto me. And Miriam, his sister, called him Jared.
That's what his sister called him, Jared. One of Adam's descendants. Go ahead.
For she descended after him to the river to know what his end would be. And Aaron, his brother, called his name Abi-Zanuk.
Abi-Zanuk. That's what Aaron called him. Go ahead.
Saying, my father left my mother and returned her on his account.
On his account. Daddy came back home. Go ahead.
And Kehath, the father of Amram, called his name Abigdor.
See, his granddaddy called him a big door. Who we talking about, a big door? You talking about Moses. You talking about Jared. A big door. Not a big door. Moses. Go ahead.
Because on his account did Yah repair the breach of the house of Jacob, and they could no longer throw their male children into the water. And their nurse called him Abi-Sokol, saying, in his tabernacle was he hidden for 3 months. on account of the children of Ham. And all Israel called his name Shemaiah.
What we call him?
Shemaiah.
See, if we ask somebody today, hey, you know, man, when Shemaiah saw that angel in the burning bush, they'd be like, who are you talking about?
Right.
Shemaiah. What Israel called Moses. Where you get that knowledge from? Right there, right in the book. 2 Samuel 1:18 spoke about it. Joshua 10:13 say the book of Jasher. 2 Tim 1:8. Go ahead.
And all Israel called his name Shemaiah, son of Nathanael. For they said, in his days has Yah heard their cries and rescued them from their oppressors. And Moses was in Pharaoh's house and was unto Bethiah, Pharaoh's daughter, as a son.
So we can hold that, but I just wanted y'all to see the similarities 32. In names. That same thing happening with the Messiah, because Moses foreshadowed the Messiah. He had many names too. That was in the book of Jasher, 68th chapter. So y'all, we want to be complete soundly about the name of the Most High when you're talking about his name versus his titles. His name is the word of God.
That's right.
The representation of the law, the walking law in the flesh. Never broke nary a one. That would be the problem. Not trying to prove his name ain't Jesus. Just prove a law he broke. And the fight is over. Just show right there. See right here, he broke this law. This is transgression. If that was out there, we wouldn't be sitting down there. But it ain't. Let's get to this lesson, y'all. Biblical gainsaying, y'all, and it's going to cover a few things we were talking about. So we want to get the definition of gainsaying. If somebody pull that for me, so we get an understanding before we start the class of what we're dealing with. Because we see this a lot, and a lot of times we speculate what words mean. Gainsaying has a definition. It has many definitions of gainsaying because you're going to fit one side or the other. Y'all heard the term a lot, haven't you? No gainsaying. What y'all think that means?
No lying telling.
See, he said no lying telling, but
gainsay.
But we see gainsaying. Gainsay. To declare false, to deny, to be contrary, or oppose, or contradict. So y'all, we have to be prepared for all of those who deny this word, oppose it, or say it contradicts itself. So y'all, we got two examples dealing with David that most I guess they call them apologetics or gainsayers who say that the Bible contradicts itself, and they go to these scriptures, y'all, but we got rules according to the Bible, just like we had rules when we started praying. Just how we had rules when we say you can ask any question you want, just raise your hand first. What are the rules of asking a question, y'all? Raise your hand first. That ain't hard, is it? And we're going to come right to you because we can't let you go home with that thought on your mind and say, well, I didn't want to say nothing, y'all, because I didn't want to interrupt the class. Interrupt the class.
Yes.
Because the death angel could visit you tonight. Israel out of control is getting warm, and they stealing cars. It's time to put the pedal to the metal. The light green, and they a quarter mile away. And if your head ain't on swivel, when you move across these major intersections, you better start practicing it now. Even if you got to count 1001, 1002, 1003, and then take off from the light. Yeah, you may get a few horns blowing at you. Get on going. But if you don't, they are going to be flying through there with no cause for life. So y'all, let's get this. What we say, so we understand gainsaying, or the definition that the scripture used a lot of time in the Hebrew is rebellious. Because you're rebellious if you deny that Yeshua is the Son of the Most High. You're contradicting yourself. You'll try to find scriptures. And the problem is, we'll let those gainsayers go and do like this with our scripture. See right there? Now turn over here. See right there? It says something different. And you like this. With your Bible, they are contradicting these scriptures, and you standing there like you don't know what's going on. It's like you done copy somebody's resume, and the man interviewing you is saying, and I see here you have experience with the Cyborg 3705 and the Shoe 1910 machines. You're pretty proficient in those, I see. Well, we run 2 of those machines here. We see you, and you looking like, what kind of machine? And you trying to look at the resume like this, like, damn, did I write that?
See, I see here, I am good at these things.
Right, right, absolutely. But y'all, that's why, y'all, we have to be fully persuaded in our mind that we're going to stand on this. There is without fault. It says holy. So that means it's no contradictory or gainsaying can be found. Let's start with some scripts, y'all. And we're going to talk about it from the positive point of gainsaying that's out there now that warns us what to look for and what we expect to face. So we start off with Romans 10:21. Y'all, we're going to move through these because I want to get to two situations that a lot of times they use out there to say the Bible is contradictory. They run over the same thing, y'all. It's easy work, y'all. Very easy work.
So you see the biblical books, you may have to shrink that, but bring up Enoch 48, or just get on the internet and bring it up.
So first one I'm going to, y'all, Romans 10:21. And y'all, we want to deal with the understanding of gainsaying. Because with all you're getting, get what? See, because the Bible talks its own language. Gainsaying to somebody else may mean something totally different. We have to stay within the oracles and boundaries of the script. See, we can never be wrong. They always go struggle out there. But understand, Webster is going to give a worldly view and is going to give a spiritual view. It always has 2 definitions. By 2 witnesses, everything got to be established. Holy, when the Messiah say, be ye holy, for I am holy, that's not the same holy as the Father. The Father holy, when you look up holy, it needs to be set apart. Worthy of reverence. That's the first one. Oh, ain't none of us down here worthy of reverence. Ain't no Negro calling himself chief high priest is worthy of worship either. And then you have the second definition. Completely devoted to one's deity. Holy. I'm talking about completely devoted to one's deity or God. You're set apart. And that's what the Messiah was. Be like that. I'm completely devoted to the Father. Under no circumstances did I go left field. If it was, we already read about it. Where we at? And y'all, and this the main thing too. Let me say this about gainsayers before we start reading. Gainsayers will point to a verse and point out certain things to a verse. The rules are, and this is, I speak as a man, back it up 3 verses or move forward 3 verses so you understand the subject matter. I can make one verse say anything. I can make one verse say the 41 Lee River roads is the Ark of the Covenant. If you let me, with one witness.
Lee River roads.
Now ain't it just like the Ark Noah built? Ain't people on it? Some people on it acting like an animal. 41 Lee River road. But you can't do it with 2 witnesses. So y'all, let's stay inside the book. And if we play by the rules, then they have to accept the rules. Go ahead, where we at? Romans 10:21.
Book of Romans chapter 10, verse 21.
Everybody there? I won't leave nobody behind. Y'all, we just gonna hit a couple quick hitters.
Daniel, where you want to go in Enoch so I can start trying to get close to it?
And y'all, these just some quick hitters so we get understanding. Y'all, this is what you're dealing with. This is who you're going to be dealing with. This is the identifications of gainsayers. It just means a rebellious person. See the truth and say, no, I don't believe that. Why? My grandmama didn't say nothing about that, and she go to church every Sunday. I don't know what kind of Bible that you got. Go ahead, brother.
Romans 10:21. But to Israel he said, all day long I have stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying people.
So he's saying Israel is the most disobedient and gainsaying people on the earth. He say all day long, the Lord is like this. Israel. 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 All day long, y'all, all day. And we talk about this brother. I want Matthew 18 and I want the whole congregation there to 7. And the Most High probably been at you like this the whole day. Shabba-woo-ha. Shabba-woo-ha. But yet you want to point at the beam in your brother's eye. Or the mote, so to speak, and blocking that beam out. Let's get right to it. 2 Peter chapter 3. Y'all, we're going to move through so we understand gainsaying, then we have the understanding. So everything we read after that point, we're looking at it from that perspective. Oh, this is a rebellious person right here the scripture's talking about. Am I rebellious like that? Am I rebellious like that? Do I see something I don't agree with and skip over them scriptures? Does my behavior, everything but those scriptures come up? That's going to be a problem with yourself because they ain't going nowhere. They're going to keep coming up so that you don't die in your sin. And what that means is accepting wrongdoing. Like this new LBGTFHIJKLMON groups. They got so many names right here that say, I truly believe the Father made me a man trapped in a woman's body. That's rebellion. You know better than that.
Tamar Braxton said that God made a mistake with her son.
Now look, I want y'all to think about the rebellion in that. If he makes mistake, what you praying to him for? Right. Why are you wasting your time? You could pray to anybody. The wine head on the corner. Look into our bottle and tell me what you see.
Hennessy.
Right. So at this point, if he makes mistake, you can't trust him. It would be a waste of time, wouldn't it? Go ahead, where we at? 2 Peter 3:3.
2 Peter.
Everybody there?
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3.
What it say?
Knowing this first.
Knowing what first?
Knowing this first. That there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust.
Walking after their own lust. Y'all, we can't be on Facebook getting into wars about things that are not salvational issues.
Right.
And I'm talking about knockdown, drag out conversations. Like, is Esau really the white man or is he the Arab? What difference does it make when all nations gonna bow? What difference does it make? Why are we arguing about this when the bottom line is Zechariah 14? All nations gonna come up and serve thee. Every nation that was involved with Psalm 83 got a price to pay. Why are we arguing about that, ready to go to blows about that? What about the flat earth? What difference does it make if the earth flat or round? What difference does it make when we talk about salvation? That's all we asking. How does that make us? Well, see, because they're tricking you. And what you're saying, the kingdom can't sit on a round earth? If that's what you're saying, what are you saying? At least give us some information that's tangible to us why we would understand or even get into a conversation about this. If not, y'all keep it moving, y'all. If they want to believe that, and if they say y'all want to believe it's round, then y'all go ahead with it. But the bottom line is the kingdom coming to earth. Unless there's something over the top about a flat earth and the way the kingdom has to come down, it's impossible for it to sit on a round earth. Then we're ears are ready to listen. But y'all, YouTube has opened up a whole door of overnight keyboard warriors. If Ishmael is Esau, and Jacob has to on Esau's heel, and the kingdom turns over to Jacob, we got 2,000 more years to go.
Got some trouble.
Because Esau got to hand it over to Ishmael, and then Ishmael got to hand it over to us. How long y'all think that's gonna take? Why are we wasting our time with that? How long gonna take? That's at least another 2,000. But the bottom line gonna be the same results. Both of them still gonna bow. Those two sons of Abraham still gonna bow. No matter how you slice it, bowing's gonna take place. So why we are? Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 4.
What it say?
And say, where is the promise of his coming?
Right.
For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
So this is some of the other things that say, you'll hear Farrakhan holler. They waiting on some man to come out of the clouds. Jesus already here. So you talking about Elijah Muhammad. That scoundrel that talk about the Quran, but yet use the story of David and Bathsheba for his transgression. Yo, this is who he calls the Christ. Put his fault on another individual. I'm just doing what David did. No, you ain't doing what David did. David took care of everybody that he had a misstep with, so to speak, or sinned again. Took care of Bathsheba for the rest of her life. Abigail and others took for the rest of their life. No, he ain't done that. You got all the virgins in Islam over there sitting back talking about we got to go to the welfare office. No, you ain't did what David did. You're trying to cover your tracks. And we supposed to think this holy? You gonna blame a man 3,000 years ago for your transgressions? Let's read some more.
Verse 5. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of Yah,
by the what?
By the word of God, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of water and in the water.
See, so they ain't even got a clue about the world before the flood. Genesis 1:1, 1 and 2 is coming out of a flood of darkness and transgression and void. He can't create it and all the angels sound for joy, and then you read and hear it was void and dark. It's the same bohu and tohu used in Jeremiah 4:23 when it talks about the world before Adam and Eve. Go ahead.
It also mentioned he told Melech you have to replenish.
You have to replenish.
You have to replenish.
That's when you use the word replenish. You don't replenish what ain't never been filled before, have you? Noah was told the exact same thing as Adam. Replenish the earth. You don't move into a brand new house, as we say, built from the ground up and say, you know what? We need to replenish these cabinets. Ain't no food been in them. They brand new. Let's read some more.
Whereby the world that was being overflowed with water perished, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment.
Against the day of what?
Against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
Read that last one. Verse 8.
Verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
So let's get it understood. If you understand the length of a biblical day or the day of the Almighty, one day, y'all, when somebody is saying the Lord delaying is coming, y'all have to look at these as 1,000-year days. The Lord ain't delaying his coming. It's just that a day is 9/10 longer than we live. We talking about 70 years old if you make it.
Right.
Adam lived 930.
I got a comment.
The oldest man lived 969 years, but ain't nobody lived a day. 1,000 years. But that's what the millennial kingdom is about. Men will live 1,000 or a whole day in the eyes of the Most High. One day. Ain't nobody ever done it. So you can't be ignorant of that when somebody is scoffing. How you want it in your lifetime and you ain't number 35? You want to see all of them.
Right.
Punishments was longer than how old you are. That some men suffered for wrongdoing.
Yep.
But you want it tomorrow. We in a microwave generation, y'all.
Yep.
Who got microwaves in here?
Everybody.
How many of them on 2 seconds? Who couldn't wait till the bell ring? 2 seconds. What was he gonna do to that sandwich? What was 2 seconds gonna do, y'all?
Hey, I'm
Could we 10, 9 to 10?
Yes, sir.
Go down to 10. What I was going to say was that, like, one day I was at work a couple weeks ago, and I'm riding around thinking about where I am now, where Adam was, and when the Messiah come back. And you look at the time, you look at prophecy, you look at what's going on today, and you look at, not that you can calculate when the end is going to be, because it could be we see it could be it come after us. But my thought was that when the Most High put Adam up here, and when they transgressed, this creation has been corrupt from the beginning because of sin, because of Adam and Eve's transgressions. And you think about time. And I was thinking about how long it's been, because we know that his ways, his thoughts are higher than ours.
That's right.
So me, with my little pea brain, trying to comprehend him. And the Spirit said to me, what you thinking about, it ain't but 5.5 days to him. You go back all the way to Adam, and you looking all down through generations, and the Messiah came, went back to the crib, and here we are today, and where is this end? And you thinking of all your forefathers, everything, especially what he just said about living 900 some years old, 969 years old. Ain't nobody lived a day yet. But when you think about what all of our forefathers have gone through from being in our land and being in this land, and the 400 something years that we done been physically in chains to where we are today and where we have to go. And you thinking about your life, your day-to-days that you get up every day and try to get them 3 in that you're supposed to get in. Then you got tomorrow, and then the next day, and then you go work a job. You've been on a job 30 years. You know, things, you think about your life and you trying to put it in perspective of what's going on wholly. And then you sit and say, it ain't but 5.5 days to him.
That's right.
And we got a work week
that we fussing about.
That's right. Getting up on Monday morning, mad at Adam.
5 24-hour days.
Because what you did. Because I got to do this. Because what you did.
Right.
I got to go and ride around in a car for 8 hours. Because all you got to do that's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, just complaining. That's all bruh saying. We complain about things that's way above us. Look, let's get down to something simple. Where was your great-grandfather born at?
Exactly.
In a shack or in a colored-only hospital? Who knows where your great-grandfather? We're talking about a great-grandfather.
Just great.
That would make them probably 100 years old for most of us. Where were they born at? And we worried about way back here. Mm-hmm. And you can't even answer this question. Who knows their great-grandfather? I don't. Who knows? You know yours?
I knew
what's his name? I'm just saying, I know you probably know. O.C. Murphy.
I knew mine.
Born where? What hospital? See, they already knew though, because I told your father he's born in that shack off that dirt road. No, I'm just messing with you. But this is as far as y'all, we going back, y'all, and we worried about some things way over there. So when you hear somebody talking about how long it's going to be before the Lord come back, you impatient.
Mm-hmm. You don't
Let's be like Job. I know my Redeemer liveth, he comes.
That's right.
The covenant with Abraham, 400 years, the average lifespan at that point, wasn't nobody living past 200. So Abraham said, look, that's 200 past. The longest, Abraham lived 175. and it's saying 400 years, immediately he thought, I'm not going to see that. But he believed.
That's right. That's right.
The first slave that got on the ship to know the prophecy 400 years, you know you ain't living 400 years.
Yep.
You know this it. I'm going to die this way.
Yep.
I'm going to captivity. I'm the first one on the boat. I can't live 400. You know it already. And you know what they finna put on you. If you get 50, you'll be lucky. You 35 and you ain't get 300 bales, it's finna be hell to pay the captain. Let alone talking about 70.
Shit, you only got to live as long as you can work.
Poison powder coming out. Wasn't no fat slaves. You ever seen a picture of? But the ones working in the kitchen. Because they had the sound. But wasn't no fat slaves. Ain't no pictures of fat slaves.
Say no fat ones hanging from ropes either.
Yo, we can hold right there if you want to get some more of that. Verse 9. Let's read this verse 9, y'all, so we can get going. Who got a question? Go ahead, Sid. And your mama wasn't a slave, so I mean, in what we're talking about, but she was cooking. Pancakes all the time. A lot of leaven in the taste. A lot of leaven in the taste. And look, a lot of times you had to taste that before the rest of them white folks ate it.
Uncle
They
Ben was
wanted to make
slim because he ate
sure
rice.
you hadn't put the poison powder in there instead of them leavening agents. That's what you slipped in there. So taste them waffles.
Hey, Daddy?
Yeah.
Is that why Uncle Ben was slim because he only ate rice?
Boy, that's it. Where we at? 9. Verse 9.
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
He's not what?
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
Look, the Lord don't swipe left about his promises like we do when it's something we don't want to agree with. He don't swipe left on his promise. Go ahead, brother.
And some men count slackness, but is long suffering toward us, toward usward. Not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
But that all should do what?
That all should come to repentance.
And this verse 10 gonna tell you why. Go ahead.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the element shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
That's it.
That's it. Y'all can read the rest of that, y'all, for better understanding. Y'all gonna hit this last one. We're gonna get right into the subject matter at hand. We're at the 3 o'clock hour. Jude, it's only one chapter, right before Revelation, verses 9 through 11. Okay. So y'all see that. What you got, bro? What you got?
Yeah. Huh? No, I was gonna say,
go ahead, bro.
Somebody used, I seen this preacher use a scripture. I guess he was saying that this is a part of the class of Gans saying. It is John chapter 5, verse 18. But he only used the one verse. It says, therefore the Jews sought the more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that Yah, his father, making himself equal with Yah.
See, so they ain't understanding what that means, but like I say, this is more gainsaying or point to that. So you're saying Christ and the Father are equal.
Yeah. And he say he's sin too.
Right, and they say he's sin. See, they say he broke the Sabbath, but that's all self-explanatory. Everything's self-explanatory. He like asking, which one of y'all cars stop on the highway where y'all know they take the tires off of them, gonna leave it there, you gonna call the tow truck? No, nah. There's a tow truck cost already. There's a cost when they call you and tell you what the problem may be, and they making most of it up. They know you don't know nothing about cars. It's a triple cam bypass that's gone bad. It's April, and you know this gonna take money from June check. With what they talking about, $400-500 in the tow fee or whatever. You're gonna get that mule out of the hole or off the highway on the Sabbath day so you can go to work. If you can't work, you're not keeping the front half of the Sabbath. What is the Sabbath? 6 days you should do what? Work. If your mule on the side of the highway, how you gonna get to work? Who you gonna call? See, the Lord's command is just too tough. I wasn't gonna touch that car on the Sabbath day.
Okay.
Is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath day?
All day.
If you see an old lady finna get jacked, should you just stand there? No, see, she had no business being out here on the Sabbath. Should have been in the house with her old rig. On the Sabbath. Not on the Sabbath, I ain't helping. Right, okay. He being in the letter of the law.
I'm flashing that money.
Right. Jude, chapter 9. Jude, verse 9, I'm sorry. What it say?
Say?
Oh, Jude.
Verse 9.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael.
Yeah,
Archangel.
Michael.
The archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses. Durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee.
Go ahead.
10. But these speak evil of those things which they know not, but which they know natural, as brute beasts. And those things they corrupt themselves.
See, it's saying they don't know the supernatural. This is why I started off with Michael. Yet when contending about the body of Moses, he does not bring a railing accusation. He didn't have to gainsay Satan on this situation. Now look, man, you know what I did to you up in heaven. You know I hit you with that left hook and you flew out of there like lightning. We gonna have this conversation again, or you gonna get out the way. It say he didn't even have to do that. All he had to do was give him a look like your parents used to give to mama, mama.
Flinch.
Okay, just like I thought. So he didn't have to gainsay on Satan about that. And then he go into the carnal side, because that's how we gainsay. We become brute beasts now. Talk about people like a dog. Our own brethren and sisters, y'all. This is why love thy brethren is so important, y'all. We done got so far away from what we supposed to be doing. How you ever gonna love the Most High and we can't get this straight with one another? We got to live together starting off at 1,000 years. How? If we don't get it in our mind and preach this word, because every person we see, we don't like it, they make it to the kingdom. You're like, look at this nigga come in the kingdom.
Right. This nigga.
I know the Lord is tripping. The Lord is tripping. Read some more, bro. Just down to verse 11.
Okay. 11. Woe unto them.
Woe unto them. Go ahead.
Woe unto them. For they have gone in the way of Cain, and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of course.
So so it's saying the same thing. They perish in the gainsaying, the accusations and the foolishness that they were saying. The same way, y'all, we become brute beasts. Y'all, and how we're understanding this word, we drop down to beast level. All our talk is beast level. Everything. Everything is from a beastly perspective. And y'all, we're about to see it even move to a different level of fruition when bestiality is made legal. We're really going to show you what type of brute beasts we are.
Right. They are.
Because if same-sex marriage going, you know they're already arguing about, I should be able to marry my daughter.
It's legal in Canada.
Yeah.
This one man wanted to marry his car.
Sex robots out here taking over the prostitution industry in Amsterdam and put all of the live prostitutes out of work. Y'all Google that. Sex robots have taken over. Y'all, this is what's finna hit this earth right now.
We live in them days that many times we used to say it. We and Todd were just talking in the car on the way over here. We used to talk about these things happening. Like, I can remember 10 years ago, we was talking about the sex robots and all these different things. But it's actually here. So the next 10 years, y'all don't be surprised about nothing. Don't be surprised, because we got the playbook. We got the playbook, so we know every turn, every little cranny, every secret, every little thing they're gonna do. So don't be surprised. Be prepared. Get yourself together. Read this book. Study up. Practice.
Y'all look, when they make it legal, because they already gave them citizenship in Arabia, somewhere over there, AI.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Sophia.
She's already got citizenship.
Yeah.
A robot.
Yeah.
So now, all the argument, we better get it together, husband and wives, significant others, couples, better get it together. Because they'll make you what you want for $8,000. If you're fussing about your woman, this one don't argue back. Cook, clean, answer every question. No talk back.
None.
Men, it does all of the work, the heavy work.
Big booty
Dishes,
Judy.
laundry. I'm talking about for the women. They're gonna make male models. There's a button on there called cuddling mode. You fussing about it, you gonna be out the door. The Cuddler 2001 gonna be
Your replacement.
brought to your front door by Amazon, your replacement. After work, it's cuddling. Ain't no more leave me alone, I gotta get up in the morning. Ain't no more for the men, I got a headache, leave me alone. None of that, y'all. Robots finna take over. If y'all think it's a joke, just Google it.
Google it.
What you got, sis?
The Victoria's Secret are all transgender. Victoria's Secret. Sister Keisha and he been doing studies, but she been doing the most studies, and she found out.
Oh, a lot of the models.
Secret models are transgender. They go with the new trend as babies. You looking at these people, these movie stars with their kids, and their kids are not what they supposed to be. They're turning the boys into girls and the girls into boys. And the next curriculum coming to St. Louis is it's okay to choose what sex you want to be in class.
Absolutely. Well, that's hitting out here. You ain't got to be by the title of male and female like the Bible. This is what it's coming down to: a cause to get rid of the laws of God. You don't have to worry about male and female. You don't have to worry about that, y'all. But I want to get to some of these contradictions, y'all, because we're in the 3 o'clock hour, y'all. And this is our main thing from the game. Says they're going to come with contradictions of the Bible. If they shake your foundation about this, ain't no need in you doing, because you're going to think something else. Doubt will creep in. There's zero contradiction. It may look like contradiction because if you don't know the rules of the Bible talk root and then it talk offspring. But it always go back to as it was in the beginning, so you get the beginning of the matter. Satan is an imitator. Everything that came after the creation is bootleg. Look at it like that. You got the real deal, then you got bootleg. If somebody had a pair of Gucci's in the Chinese shop, you know they ain't real. Yeah, y'all got them Gucci's. Who got a question? What you got, sis?
Just heard recently, but the lady's been out there for a while. You can take a shot and get tan automatically with that shot.
Right.
The women are taking those shots where they look just like this.
Yeah, but it ain't the same, y'all. You look like that one lady, look like she got that, what's that spread you use, give them crackers, that nut mellow or whatever, what is it? Nutella. That's what she looked like. Y'all ain't seen her, that white woman that stayed in the tan and boots too long?
Yeah.
Should have been a turnover button in there. Where we at, y'all? Let's get this, y'all, because we're getting far behind.
Where you want to go? That's where you at.
Jew, he finished that. Y'all, we're going right to just a couple things of the naysaying that the Messiah warned us about to be prepared for, y'all. And then I want to get into a couple contradictory so-called areas of naysayers and gainsayers. Was rapping Brother Dre about it. A couple things that they'll try to go here, who really killed Goliath, and people are looking and they stunned. That look like the Bible is contradicting itself, but it ain't. All we have to do is stay with the subject matter at hand and don't go for the sleight of hand.
Right.
Magicians are always like this. You're watching that, but this hand is slipping the coin up in there. And then when he do this and slip that out, you oh! Don't go for the okie doke, y'all. Just keep watching that hand. Just keep watching.
You going where, bro?
We're going right to, let's just hit this Luke 21, 8 through 15, y'all. Then we're going to get into these so-called contradictions so we get some understanding. You got that Enoch 48 up for me?
I ain't got 48.
Just here, I'm gonna let you get it from me.
I got it up. I mean, I'm in the Enoch.
Go ahead. No. Go to the end.
I know.
Yeah, go
I'm in it.
Just click that right there. No, I mean,
We're already open.
oh, you had already?
Yeah. I just didn't know what, I kept asking what chapter.
48.
You got it.
I got
You
it.
just took the last one? Yeah, you did. You do 2 and move,
Okay.
then you take the
Luke chapter 21, verse 8 through 15, y'all. And this is just showing how we ought to be, y'all. And then it's letting us know, because we understand this truth, because we found out we Israel, we can't then become gainsayers either. You know, because if your parents, you've been telling them you Israel, and finally they find out, and they call you like at 1 o'clock in the morning, panic. We can't become a gay. No, call your pastor. Don't call me. See, you wouldn't listen to me 2 weeks ago. I was trying to tell you, stupid. Where you preach at? He don't take calls this time out. See, we can't do that. You be like, hey, what's up? What's up? Look, we got to work in the night watch too.
That's right.
Instant in season and out of season. If it can wait till morning, then it'll wait till morning. But if somebody calling you at that time about a biblical, get up and wipe your eyes and what's going on. Not for no tomfoolery though. Bro, you're not going to believe this. What you was telling me the other day is happening right now. What? You sit up straight there, but you can't gainsay. No. See what your pastor say. He who you giving all your money to. See, we can't become gainsayers after we receive the truth and turn it back on them. Because guess who you doing it to? Ain't nobody from no other nation calling you at that time in the morning, is it? It's your family members. That auntie that was saying it's cute you in the Bible, but she gonna be calling when it get hot and heavy around these parts. It's war in the Middle East. Y'all have to understand, Kim Jong stepping down don't mean he got rid of them warheads.
That's right.
They just come to terms. If you stop right now building, most of your people can get off the grass stoop and that dog meat and small potatoes. So that's all they eating over there. No penicillin, no opioid, nothing to take pain away. They get children's aspirin when sanctions are put on you. But they got a nuclear warhead to make things even. Where we at? Luke 21, 8 through 15. Let's get it.
Starting at 7. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when these things shall be? When will these things shall be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? 8. And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived. Take heed that ye be not deceived. So deception, every time we keep saying this, has to be on that individual. Deception is not a point that where you say he got me and you full well was got. Deception usually comes from the lust of your heart. If you want to see a Messiah so bad because you don't want to understand the day of the Lord, you will accept a Benjamin Carter. You will accept a Hulan Mitchell. And you know what they told him Matthew 24 was? When you should see him coming with the clouds, see, that's me in this white outfit. A black man in white. That's me coming in the clouds. You want a Messiah so bad that you will believe it. What you done read, and the Messiah as a young man shall be a bus driver in the city of Chicago. His government name shall be Benjamin Carter. He shall take the flock over to the Dimona Desert in Esau's land, Mount Seir, and set up a camp next to a nuclear reactor that's leaking. Well, y'all done read that in the script there. But if you want to see a Messiah so bad, you go for it. Read some more. 8 again.
What it say?
And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ.
The anointed. Go ahead.
And the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them.
He said, go ye not therefore after them. The Bible interprets itself. It said, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The sign that's going to happen before my second coming. This is what's going to happen. How you ever read and heard all the nations, we're going to be back in the land, and Esau still going to be running the land. They went over there in 68, I believe it was. And guess who's still running the land?
Esau?
Esau still running. He made a false prophet and said in 7 years we're going to take the land. So that's 68 and 7 is what? 75? Israel should have been run by Benjamin Carter and his camp. You got Human Mitchell over here to rehab the projects in Florida and calling that the kingdom of God. Rehab projects. Y'all think that's the kingdom of God? You have to call their maintenance meeting. Go ahead, read some more.
Now, well, when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified.
Be not what?
Be not terrified.
Y'all, what we care about these wars over in Syria and North Korea? Be not terrified of that, y'all. They have to happen. World War III has to happen. At least the start of it, to make the whole world start. The Antichrist going to come on the earth at that point. He's the one going to stop it in its tracks. World War III is not the Battle of Armageddon. Two different things. Armageddon happened after the 1,000-year millennium. World War III is where all the nations are about to destroy planet Earth until they get a light savior in manner that's going to show up. And Trump finna move that embassy over there. Where else is the Antichrist gonna set up shop at? That's why they going crazy over there now. If he set up the embassy there, then they get the Dome of the Rock back. It's an Israeli state now. They control all of that part of the Middle East. And if they build a new embassy there, who you think going up in there? Let's read some more. You had somebody there, LC? It's drying up. It's drying up. Army's gonna march across.
Hey Daniel, is there a subject matter for the book of Enoch that you're looking for?
No, just 48th chapter. I'm just going to
it in your chapters.
Here, go hit that internet then. See that fire, what it is? No, down the bottom, the internet like Explorer, but it's the fire one. Down at the bottom on the toolbar.
Okay.
That right there, come on back down. Yeah, get rid of that, but right there. Yeah, go to the internet and pull up Enoch 40th chapter. Let's come on, y'all. Let's get
Luke 21 and 9.
What it say?
But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by.
What, y'all want to read that again? What y'all saying? Who's saying that?
Read it again, Isaiah.
Oh, okay.
Read it again?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. But when ye shall hear of war, 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by.
So it said we're going to hear more, but that's just the beginning, y'all. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Don't get too concerned and start labeling false prophecy and telling everybody the end is near. Do y'all know the end of the world is supposed to happen on April the 23rd? Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
They got a lot of prophecies out there now about the world ending. Look, why would you be concerned with that and we done skipped all the prophecy? So that means the Antichrist have to set up shop. He has to be nice for 3.5 years. Then he have to turn rogue after that and kill all of us. And all that's got to be done by April the 23rd.
Mark of the beast. We missed the mark of the beast too.
In 2 days. All of that has to take place within 2 days. Why would you even entertain? Let's read some more.
10. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you.
So let's get it understood. Before any of the wars really come to pass and the signs you see, they're going to get you in check first. So when you see these signs, they already got you on lockdown. So now you got to think, them signs or they got me locked down. They're going to lay hands on you, on Bible believers. It's crunch time. This is to test your faith at this point. You've been talking a good game, but you're able to go to Taco Bell at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Illuminati.
You always get something to eat around here if you got a pistol or some money. But this is crunch time. You either take the mark of the beast or you get what they got coming for you before everything starts. Let's read some more.
12 again. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake.
For whose sake?
For my name's sake.
It ain't gonna be about nothing else, y'all. And for his name's sake, if y'all think this is gonna be about who say Jesus or who say Yahweh or who say Yeshaya, this is gonna be about the word of God. Do you believe that Bible? Yes, I do. Well, come on with us. Come on with us. What you got to say? Kills the rapture. Rapture is pre-tribulation. This is talking post-tribulation. After all of the trouble starts, then the gathering starts. But it don't use the word rapture. Rapture just means a gathering, a pre-tribulation gathering. When they say rapture, we ask them, do you speak of the great gathering mentioned in the Bible? Those words, the great gathering. Post-tribulation. After the tribulation gathering. That's what you're talking about when you say rapture. They be looking at you like, yeah, I want that look. Because then it's up to them to find pre-tribulation rapture. And you ain't gonna find it. You won't find it. Let's get it. Where we at?
13. And it shall turn, and it shall turn to you for a testimony.
For what?
For a testimony.
A testimony, y'all. There's no testimony as long as the test of lippeth, is it? No. Huh? We'll be reading about what he said. Man, Lazarus marched up them steps and told them, do y'all business. That would be a testimony. Lazarus went out hard, y'all. That's his testimony. But guess where Lazarus at? At the resurrection. We got to get our minds ready for this, y'all. If y'all gonna be a believer in this done already happened. It was called the Great Martyr. 70 AD, they slaughtered a lot the same way. The same exact way. Y'all believe in that Bible? Time to die. Where our faith is. Everybody want to get to heaven, but what? Nobody wants to. Get ready. Y'all, we're not saying these things to scare you, but you see it on TV every day. You hear it on TV every day, the killing. So killing ain't nothing new to us, especially around these parts of the STL.
Oh no.
The 13th most dangerous place on earth, not in America, on earth. The ST head. Where we at?
14. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer.
See, because if you don't settle in your heart, you start meditating on it, you're going to start to think of some lies. See, no, I was just getting into the Bible. I wasn't really believing what them Hebrews was believing. I ain't never said I was a Hebrew.
Hebrew.
Now look, they talk some noise, but Caesar's our king. It ain't gonna do you no good.
And we laugh about it, but them days gonna come.
Yeah.
Them days gonna come.
Them days is here.
But if we hold fast, y'all, this next verse gonna tell us what we got coming. Go ahead.
15.
We're gonna be preternatural. Go ahead.
15. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom. For 15.
Read that again.
For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay, nor resist.
See, they won't be able to mock what the Spirit is going to tell you when your heart is fixed. When you say, look, I knew it's been coming. It's actually in our lifetime today, huh? Y'all about to do it, huh? Y'all about to get me, huh, for this word's sake. And they gonna be looking, they like, he ready to go. He ready to go. That's gonna change the whole mood of the gainsayers. Because you're not scared. It's like that lesson gave by Malachi last week about the mother and the 7 sons. You're prepared for this. Y'all, we got to get in shape for what's about to come. Now you go to the gym every day to get that outer cup. How about doing some exercises on the mental? How about doing a few squats on the mental? How about hit that treadmill on the mental? Let's see how far you can run. Where we at?
That was it.
That's it for that? Yeah. We can hope that y'all, this last one concerning that. I'll tell you what, we're going to get right into the contradiction, y'all, for time's sake. But y'all write these down. Hebrews chapter 12, 1 through 3. Once again, the Messiah getting prepared for the naysayers. And then jump to Hebrews 11 through 15, because it's going to get deeper. Then I want y'all to read Acts.
Hebrews 11.
Yeah, no, same Hebrews 12, you're just jumping down to verse 11 through 15. Acts 10th chapter, verse 28 and 29, and you can see this is Peter having the vision about unclean nations, and then he said, I didn't use gainsay against them. I didn't come at Cornelius like that because you was accepted. I didn't do like how y'all was warned in Romans 11. The wild olive branch don't boast against the natural branch. Peter didn't resort to gainsaying because he knew we was number one. And y'all understand what we're talking about. Number one is the chosen, but there's no respect of person. If number one mess up, he get the belt first, then the other nations. If number one do good, he get the blessings first, and then the other nations. To the Jews first, then the Gentiles, Romans 2:9. Romans 1:16. That's the way it's always been. And that's the way it's going to be. It's not a thing that we were more in number in people. It's because Abraham believed what was told to him. Y'all, we have to believe these words because it's coming to pass right before our eyes. We are actually seeing artificial intelligence right before our eyes. And when they make a robot of you robbing a bank and you sitting at home and watching, that's me robbing that bank. Right. And people calling, man, Jonathan robbing the bank down there in Kentucky. Jonathan's sitting right here. Y'all, they got them so lifelike now. And they talk back to you and they answer questions.
Have a conversation. Have a conversation.
Siri, go get the door and tell him I ain't here.
Okay.
Okay. He's not here.
She told me to come to the door.
Go away. And not only that, they're a robot. So they'll be ready for any drama come through that door.
Right.
John chapter 3, y'all. We're going to get into a couple of these naysaying. And Dre Money, these are some questions that came up. Naysayers always like to run to this. And I guess they saying the Bible contradicting itself because Elijah and Enoch, they think, ascended before the Messiah. So he's contradicting here. John 3:13. So y'all, we want to get a little bit of what the gainsayers going to do, y'all. It's not just they're going to be just mocking you. They're going to mock the scriptures. They say, see, this stuff ain't real. Y'all, all of this is a smooth read. That's why I don't read the Bible no more. And there you go, ready to doubt. Faith is ready to go out the window because they showed you something. From a gainsaying perspective, y'all, it's people out there that read the Bible to look for errors. Those are gainsayers. Their job is to point out fault in what you're saying because it's the only book got holy on it that really means it. How can the Quran, they'll tell you everything in it ain't the truth. It's got some shortcomings. Well, this one don't. We're not getting, and that's why you always hear Muslims say, you know your Bible. You don't never hear them say, you know your Quran, do you? You know your Quran? You know your Quran, brother. They ask, do you know your Bible? When any discussion or topic come up, they are talking about the Bible, not the Quran. Y'all know they want to wear the real. They carrying bootleg. Talking about the Quran is an extension of the Bible. The Quran came 600 years after the Messiah. Ishmael, the father of the Arab race, was taught the laws by Abraham. Ishmael had the commandments, not the Quran.
Judgments and laws.
This is what Ishmael understood, not the Quran. That came later as a war of Ishmael, man-made doctrine. One side believed Muhammad, the other side believed this other guy. I don't even waste time getting into it. And in their book, they say what's in here, that the Messiah is the most blessed person on. In their book, this book don't talk about Ishmael and the Quran.
Ishmael took his brother Isaac to the side and raised up his skirt and told him he did it to him. He said, look at this. He said, you think you special? You think you the only one of the covenant? Look at this. I'm circumcised like you, and I'm older than you.
Right.
You're not the golden boy to me.
Right. We read that last week, bro. Spirit moving in you. Where we at? John 3:13.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 13. And no man hath ascended.
Hold on, how we looking, y'all? Y'all good? Holler out if y'all ain't there, y'all. We have to read in one accord. Y'all best friend will be the index if you're struggling. It'll say John, page 932 or whatever your index say. And we'll get you there real quick, y'all. We wait on you. We're tarry for our brothers and sisters.
Book of John, chapter 3, verse 13.
What it say?
And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven.
I couldn't get that.
That's 48 right there. Right there. No, come down. Right there. Go ahead, keep reading, bro. This one. Yeah, no, one up.
Verse 14.
Yeah.
And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life.
See that plus up there?
Take it to 18.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son.
Y'all, all I want to do was this verse where it says, no man has ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. The gainsayer point that out and say, that's a lie in your Bible. Your Bible say Enoch was called up. Your Bible say Elijah was called up to heaven. But when you got a naysayer don't know the levels of heaven. It's not just one heaven. The first heaven we see is right up there where we can see the clouds in the atmosphere. That's the first heaven. Then you get outside of that zone you're in two. Then you get to the third level of heaven called paradise. That Paul mentioned, 2 Corinthians 12. He went to paradise. The thief on the cross. Know this day you should be in paradise with me. Abraham's bosom. Luke 16. Paradise, the third level of heaven, where the side of the righteous are, Revelation 6:9, and I saw the souls under the altar. That spot, and then on the other side of that is a great gulf that where sinners go immediately like Judas Iscariot to perdition. And they wait there in torments until judgment day. So they go from those torments to the lake of fire. Immediately.
No break.
Immediately when you die, immediately.
You go to torments, not the lake of fire, to uncomfortableness like a fever 24/7 for the rest of your life to get you prepared for the lake of fire.
Y'all ever think about the lake of fire that you swim out to the middle of a lake, you in the middle of a lake floating, your feet ain't touching the ground, right? Imagine floating in fire.
No, don't want to imagine.
There is not no safe spot for you to swim over to.
Don't want to think about it, bro.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Think about it. A lake of fire. Swimming around, burning in fire. No rest, no smoke break, nothing.
None of that.
No,
right. Well, it be
Oh, you know there's
smoking going on.
But
No big nicotine.
Think about that, no death.
There's no death. See, because you can't die, because now you're in that supernatural we're talking about. Your soul is supernatural. It's eternal. It can't die. Either it's going to live on the righteous side or it's going to live on the wicked side. So be careful when you put on a rest in peace t-shirt. If you know this scoundrel been robbing banks and old ladies, how he rested in peace? He ain't resting in peace. You saw him when he was laying up in the car, mouth twisted. You say he had a rough time. It was rough on him. Be careful about resting in peace. Y'all, just wanted to show y'all that. Go ahead, bro.
Study, like talk to another Hebrew, telling him I went to Bible because of the contradiction.
Y'all hear what he's saying? Look, this contradiction, this was two Hebrews talking. One got showed this scripture and he fell off like Hebrew is a religion. I ain't Hebrew no more. That's like you saying I ain't black no more. I ain't Negro no more. I ain't African American no more. All the names they give you, I ain't me no more. I'm somebody else. That's basically how they had him believe. And so he decided, I'm getting out of the movement, y'all. That's why we're talking about you can't talk this out of cup as a religion. I'm Hebrew, dog. What does that mean? And we profane the name of the Lord. What you gonna do when a gainsayer bring that first to you? And you doing the same exact thing when they bring that scripture to you. What you gonna look at? You're gonna look at it and start to see where it's got you, and then you're gonna start cussing. You black, so good, you shouldn't touch the Bible, you ugly. No, that's going to take the place of what's right in front of your face. Cussing somebody out. Because they showed you what you supposed to know. And make it sound like it ain't real. But I just wanted to hit that John 3:13, like he said, these are Hebrews that say, I don't want to be that no more. Well, where you going to run back to? Church? You already left that? You know what they telling now?
Trying to play catch up on times.
That's about it.
Going back to the old life and being okay with it.
That's right. So let's get right back to the answer to these contradictions, y'all, so you understand the root and the offspring. See, a naysayer don't know when Christ is talking about this. When he said, I will, no man has ascended but he who came down. Other people went up, but they didn't go to the right hand of the Father. So this is what the Messiah is talking about. He's talking about the root. He's not talking about the offspring, Enoch and Elijah. Those are offsprings. He's the root. John 17. Y'all, we're going to speed this up just a little bit. We run out of time. John 17, 1 through 5. And y'all, this is going to give us a little bit of answer so we understand what the Messiah said, what was in heaven, and what he's requesting. Y'all, if y'all don't line them up, they're going to line them up for you. And I always use this example, dominoes. There's some domino champions in here, and that's one of them, Dre Money over there. Don't care if you're a rookie, just pound you out. Count what's in your hand. I know you ain't got nothing but the 3, 4. Don't care. Relentless on it. But if he don't say the rules, 15 to get on board and 10 thereafter, I'm going to put down a nick. And by the time he realized I've been counting 5s, I'm going to have 3 houses. Too late then. Same way with this word. You can't let them get a foothold and start building houses on you with gainsaying. And then you want out. I want out of that movement. Where we at?
Where you
John 17, 1 through 5.
Book of John, chapter 17, verse 1. These words spake Yahawashi.
Hold on, here's some pages, flip it. Y'all, a few chapters over. Everybody to be right there, so when y'all repeat this to a gainsayer or a naysayer, they'll be like, well, I can't tell that to nobody else. That Enoch and Elijah are here because they've been straightened out. If they do, they want to be deceived at that point. Let's get it.
These words spake Yahawashi, and lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, Father, the hour is come. Glorify thy Son, that thy Son also may glorify thee, as thou hast given me power over all flesh.
Over how much flesh?
Over all flesh. That he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, that the only true God, and Yahweh Shah Mashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on earth.
What has he done?
I have glorified thee on the earth.
See, and to glorify him wasn't the same glory that we got to throw out of Israel for. He glorified the Father. Walked his law perfectly that it could be done. That's glorifying. If you say you can't keep the law, can't nobody keep the law, y'all just ask them which one and let them answer. Just wait, it'll be this type of silence right here. Which law you can't keep? Stealing? Why you can't stop stealing?
My hand keep making me steal.
Right. The devil made me do it. The devil ain't never made nobody do nothing.
Never.
The devil asks you about your lust. Come on now, come on. Come, you kidding me, really? You just gonna be this. There's no fun in that, just keeping God's commandment. Come on and look at real fun. Y'all, don't y'all understand what he calls real fun is chaos? Every one of these shows on TV, Real Housewives, and Real Husband of that, it's mixed with chaos.
Real fags of this.
And so when you wait on the next episode, you want to see these two people squabbing. Yeah, she gonna slap the piss out of the day. That's what she said the last episode. So you sit here waiting for chaos and violence to come into your life, and you figure this is what it's about. But because they're on a yacht and they popping bottles, skimpy girls in bikinis and sexy lingerie, you think that's fun? Men chest out, but they heart full of wickedness. Chest fucked up.
Cardi B showing how she got pregnant.
Hey, the whole nine. But that's what we want to see. That's what's showed to us versus the other side. So they're naysaying at the Bible. Y'all don't keep all that goody two-shoe stuff. This is where the action is. This is where the fun is at. Wife swapping.
Right.
Girl on girl. Boy on boy. But we on the yacht.
Wheezy F, baby.
You know what it is. Read some more.
Verse 4 again.
What it say?
I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou hast given me to do. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I have with thee.
Read that slower, a little bit slower.
And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was.
With the glory before what?
Before the world was.
See, the Messiah had glory before the world was ever created. This is what he said, and that's what the work was about. So I get that glory back to come back and stand next to you. So that y'all open the door for us that we can stand there and be amongst the Father when the New Jerusalem come to earth. Where it says the Almighty and the Lamb or the temple. It is y'all, we'll be back talking to the Father. He ain't gonna never leave his throne, but we'll be able to talk to him like Adam used to. When Adam used to look to the heaven before the brass communication, to block the communication, brass was put over the earth so our prayers can go up. Now they have to go up through angels and different things. Like in Daniel 10th chapter when Satan blocks the prayers and angels have to come down. They battle for 21 days so Daniel's prayers could get through. Y'all, when this comes, we'll just be like this. Good morning, Father. Or Boca-Tov, Father. It'll be crystal clear. That realm will be disappeared. We can communicate. And the Messiah will be right amongst us.
Right. Y'all see here that when he asked his Father about bringing him back to his former glory before the world was, he didn't say, take me out of this filth that I had to become to do this job, to come down and be in the flesh. You see what I'm saying? He came down to take on the sins of the world and died for the sins of his people. And you see he did it. He didn't say when, now that I'm done, I did your work, return me back and get me out of this what I had to do. You see what I'm saying? He didn't say he was dirty and filthy and make me clean again.
Right.
All this stuff that I had to take on for your people, my people, what I had to come down here and do, return me back because I'm ready to get out this filth that I had. He didn't say none of that.
Right. What you got?
I believe that started all this and referred to the camp, said here at this camp, they gonna teach, there ain't no contradiction in the law, they gonna run to the law, but these are the contradictions.
See, and then they say they're gonna run to the law, but law is the only thing you're gonna be judged by.
The only thing we got to run to.
What are you judged by in court every day? You think you judged by the police, what he decided to do? Every ticket you get said you violated ordinance 055678910. When you commit a felony, as the statutes of a felony, such and such, such and such, such. That's what you face. So in like manner, if we run to the law, that's what we're supposed to do. Y'all see how the gang saying is they're going to run to the law. Why shouldn't we run to the protection? What gets your mind straight? Why would we run to where we become a lawless society? Where there's no law, there's no sin. That's what they want. Judge. They want zero judgment. They don't want no judgment. That's what the Sunday worshipers do. And the alphabet camps bring in reincarnation, which means no judgment. Because they come back over and over and over again. Where Hebrews 9:27 say it's appointed for a man to die how many times?
Once.
And then the what?
Judgment.
So ain't no reincarnation in the scripture.
No.
What it is the escape of judgment. But you ain't gonna escape judgment, y'all. Every secret thing, whether it be good or evil. Y'all, so you can do some secret good things. You don't have to tell everybody about what you did and broadcast it. Those things will be presented. So when you see this person walk in the kingdom, you'll be like, oh, but that secret thing gonna be showed you. This what he did. He's worthy to enter in. What you got, brother?
Just help me understand something. Okay. I do understand that some people will go to tradition and some people will go to Abraham because I understand that. But what's the difference between them and the people that rest and sleep until the judgment?
Same spot.
Abraham bosom is that same.
There's just a gulf. There's a gulf in between.
Abraham bosom is just rest.
It's a resting spot. That's where you rest in peace.
Oh, but if you've been raised in hell all your life.
You going to the other side of that gulf. You're a hell raiser. See, in hell is not the lake of fire.
It's the grave.
Hell is just the grave. Hell is a holding spot for the soul till they get to where the destination either is going to be in righteousness or it's going to be the lake of fire. Ecclesiastes 12 through 14. Those that be going risen for everlasting life and those to everlasting damnation. I'm talking about you go from here to the lake of fire. Ain't no go, ain't no pass and go. Right there to the left. The righteous will come in and inherit y'all, but that holding spot, everybody ain't resting in peace. When you hear the true word, Revelation 6 and 9, make sure you get that. I saw the souls on the altar. How long, Lord, before you judge them on the earth that killed us? And he said, y'all gonna be put back to sleep, but white robes and palms was given to them in their hands. That's a signification of you are saved at this point. Anybody saying they saved and ain't got on no white glistening robe, whiter than any fuller can get them. So the comparison would be, anybody tell you they saved and they got on white, just compare it to snow and it'll look like a pea stain. There's no whiteness on earth whiter than snow. None. The Bible compares whiteness to snow because where does snow come from? So let's not be fooled when it's compared. When you hear somebody say, I went to heaven, what did you have on? Because you can't stand before the king in these earthly clothes. Dog, I had to make an impression on the Lord. I wore them Gucci's and his red bottoms, dog. He was impressed. Right. Before the law. Y'all, we finished with that. Bring that Enoch 48 up. So we can show and get the understanding, the root of this matter before you start talking about Elijah and Enoch. where the Messiah was, and on what level, and what level the angels couldn't get through. Satan deceived a third of the angels. He was already in heaven. And he wanted to ascend up. He wasn't on earth. He wanted to ascend in the heavens and take over. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
That's my last question.
Don't ever say that.
Don't say that. Yeah, go ahead. We ain't getting tired of you. Go ahead.
Okay, I know it was a war in heaven. Okay, and I know it was a world before this world.
Yeah.
So, did they start in heaven and they come down before, all this was made and they tore it up?
Well, Rahab wasn't just a harlot. Rahab was a planet. And you'll see David talk about Rahab a lot. So do a little bit of study on Rahab, y'all, the planet. And you'll understand what happened at chaos that made things void. Just do Rahab and don't do the part about the harlot that saved or that let Joshua and them spot. I mean Caleb and Joshua spot. R-A-H-A-B, Rahab. You see David talk about it a lot. And what happened, what's the word for chaotic and outer space? Cosmic, how you pronounce it?
Cataclysmic?
Cataclysmic. Yeah, thank you, bro.
That's what
in
I'm
the
there
heavens. Yes, sir, bro. That's what we're talking about that happened in the heavens. Where Lucifer was a high priest, Ezekiel 28:12 on down, talk about his rulership. He had on a breastplate. He's a high priest. He's running things. But he's not going to be servant to a dirt man. This is why he tried to rebel. And look, if he conned a third of the angels, then it's a whole number, right? Mm-hmm. That means it's 2/3 somewhere, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Who know the number of them 2/3? Mm-hmm. But look, it's going to be 2/3 of us that get killed. It's the 1/3 replacing that because they're going to be we don't marry in the resurrection. We should be like the angels. It's replacement so it stay full. A lot of questions and answers out there, y'all, that one need to ask himself, because the word of the Most High ain't coming back void. But he say the angels are like the stars of heaven. Count them and you know what the whole number is. Can't you? Like the sand of the sea, count them and you'll know the whole number. But there is a whole number of angels. 1/3 of them fail with Satan. And y'all think about supernatural kind. And y'all think the devil wasting time tomorrow. You made him do something. He's supernatural. He gets inside of you and talks to your lusts and try to turn it into lasciviousness. And that means every thought about me is below the belly button. I can't have a conversation without that coming up. You're talking about some Hebrew music. Boy, you ain't heard that G.C. Scott, that new blues jam. I like to creep through that window. Boy, that's a cut. All it talks about, everything you do is talking about below the navel. That's what Satan wants your mindset at. Always making the bed undefiled. Because we in a marriage covenant. If he made the offspring in a marriage covenant, bring in harlots, other doctrine, other beliefs, now you're bringing harlotry to the marriage. It's like a man getting married and go get a hooker pregnant. Wife ain't as angry as about this woman because she may know he was a player. But you raw dog him. How you get a hooker pregnant? She look clean. What? She look clean. How does one look clean on the inside?
Air gripes.
2 songs ago she was grinding down there, now she on you. What do you mean she look clean? Cross-contamination already done happened. You just saw the man walk out there with his arm in front of his pants. He's shamed. Enoch chapter 48:1. We're going to get to the glory of the Most High so you understand these things, where the Messiah was and what Satan wanted to do. Go ahead with that, brother.
We'll be reading in the book of Enoch.
It's up on the board, y'all.
Can you increase that? It's a plus sign up there to increase that as much as you can on the, I don't think it's that one. It should be on that bar somewhere. You don't see, is that the only plus you got? Well, no, that ain't gonna do it. That may cut it off. Yeah, go back. Yeah, go back. Yeah. So ain't no plus nowhere else on there? Down at the bottom, you don't see no plus sign? What's all that stuff right there blocking the screen?
But I can barely see, period. I'm trying to follow you around the screen.
Well, we know you ain't gonna be saying you the Messiah. But don't worry about y'all. We gonna read it out loud. Y'all just mark it down. Enoch chapter 48. We'll be able to pan right on it for the worldwide audience. Go ahead, bro. Read that so we get caught up.
Reading in the book of Enoch, chapter 48, starting at verse 1.
And look, because other groups don't want to read Enoch and they say about, oh, we don't believe Enoch. That's your problem. Then explain them talked about in Jude and Genesis. Testimony. What other testimony we going to have? Just mention them but not believe the writings that he left? Why? Because it don't agree with your doctrine? We read Enoch because it's mentioned in this book. It talks about Enoch. It talks about Enoch in this Sirach, in the Apocrypha. It was never a man translated like he was that came after Adam. He was different from, his translation was even different from Elisha's. You can read about the translation of Enoch in this book of Jasher, 3rd and 4th chapter. Get busy with it. And compare it to 1 Kings or 2 Kings 1 and 2 about Elijah being called up. And see, don't you see the same exact things in the chariots of God? But this gets deep about Enoch's translation. Let's read some more. Where we at?
The book of Enoch, chapter 48, verse 1.
What it say?
And in that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, which was inexhaustible, and around it were many fountains of wisdom, and all the thirsty drank of them.
This ain't the same.
Huh? You had to be somewhere else. Yeah. No, they ain't like one, bro. Why you got to
What's happening?
Go back to the, go back.
No, don't worry about it. It's just gonna be off just a bit, y'all. It's the same language.
You're in the wrong chapter.
No, he should be in 48. 48, 3 X's, a 5, and 3 1s. Ain't that 48 Roman numeral? X means 10, right? Oh, that should be 4 X's. I'm in 38, ain't I? Yeah. That means y'all paying attention. Huh?
This be a 1 feet. 3 right here.
Go ahead, ask me now why they looking for it. What's up, sis?
Okay. But I gotta say this.
That's it. That's it.
When you're having like the real dreams, let's just say real dreams.
Lucid.
That you can feel.
Right, lucid dream. Lucid.
What do you do for that?
Know that you're in your dreams and you can't sin in your dreams. Lucid means in the aware of. I'm aware I'm dreaming.
If you have a lucid dreams, but you saying being aware is that you can think. You will find yourself thinking in your sleep, and you will see what right and wrong is, and you will know in your sleep, don't do this, or I need to do this.
Right.
You will be able to make a decision while you are sleeping as to what is going on in your dream.
If Denzel Washington come through your bedroom door in your dream with no shirt on, lucidly or in the word, you got to say, this is about to be an adulterous act. I can't do this. Go away from her, Denzel. Go away from her.
No face.
You have to get rid of them in your dreams. Because if you don't, you're going to wake up thinking about intercourse with somebody else's husband all while you're awake. You're going to find every movie you can find.
We can see it in our dreams, baby.
You can see it in your dreams. Deuteronomy 23:10 talks about a man having a nocturnal emission or a wet dream. He had to do just like Leviticus 15. He had to wash himself and he was unclean unto evening. Now you think about that today, man. Look, this is how powerful the supernatural is. If you're in the flesh, it takes a lot of work with your hand. If your clothes burn, it takes a lot of work and then it goes off. But when you're asleep, you're laying like this with your hands to your side, and it go off. How does that happen?
HD. With no friction.
That's what we're asking supernaturally. How does that go? You couldn't think that right now, awake right now for nothing in the world. Try it. You can't. Deuteronomy 23:10.
Say a scripture.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say this real quick, if I can. I had a dream once. My dream was I woke up. Okay, it was Satan that sent a succubus after me. My dream was I woke up. I was set up on the side of the bed.
Let me tell you what a succubus is before I continue. You look it up in the dictionary. S-U-C-C bus. An evil spirit that comes in the shape of a woman to seduce men in their sleep. Then there's the flip side of that, incubus, an evil spirit that comes and attack women in their sleep. It's a demonic, that has its way in their sleep. You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, your woman sitting there smoking.
I don't know what you waking up for.
Them dreams was pleasant, so she thinks. And some people can't wait to go back to sleep so they can jump back in there and do what they hope we can't see in the fleshly world. But it's going to show in a man's countenance. He ain't gonna be able to stop it. Everyone walk by a woman, he can't keep his eyes up here. Yeah, bro. The Lord is good. That's the Lord is good. That's where your mind will be, because the spirit controls the flesh. You don't want your flesh to control the spirit.
You have to be able to control what happens in that dream.
Yeah.
Mine was I woke up, the rib walked in the bedroom. I stand up to greet her, another one comes in. I'm like this. Two of you. I put my arms around both of them, in comes the third. I said, that's Satan right there.
Yeah,
I stopped it. Right there. I said, that's the devil. And stopped it and woke up. So you almost got me, but I seen you.
Right.
I told him, you got greedy. You might have had me at 2. Right. But when you put the third one out, I knew.
Watch it.
I got one in each arm. I got 2 ribs. And as I got both of them in, here come the third one in the doorway. I said, wait a minute. I see you. I see you. You got greedy.
So waking up is good.
Well, look, a lot of times.
I made the decision. I saw him in the dream. You got greedy. I knew it was the devil.
He was able to see his sin. Because look, you don't want to die in your sin, being you could die in your sleep committing transgression. There's no past in your sleep, because dreams are communication from the Lord. It's in their dreams and vision. Your children shall have dreams and vision. These are supernatural dreams that you have to ask the demonic spirit. Are you with the Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? They will never say no. I mean, yes, I'm sorry, yes. Yeah. They will never say yes, because they can't
lie to you.
An evil tree cannot bring forth good fruit. They will never tell you, yes, I am with them. Just ask them, but we're so scared and terrified in our dreams because you ain't got that pistol you carry around every day. You ain't got that blade you can pop off and ready to shank somebody. You ain't got none of that in your dream.
You can't even
what
run.
You got? Right, you can't even run. You got your faith. And he'll try to choke you out.
Can't move, laying there free. That's it.
And he's gonna keep strangling because there's always 3. Father! Mama! That's what he wants, mama. See, because you called on the 2. And then you felt that they didn't deliver, so you called on your earthly parent. Just what the devil wants. Breaking of the commandments in there in your time of trouble. Y'all think dreams ain't real?
That's why you can't believe when they say that he died peacefully in his sleep.
No.
You don't know what happened.
You don't know what happened
dreams.
in that.
He could have failed in his mission when the deceiver came after him, and he failed.
That's how Satan comes first. He'll control the physical after that. You're his puppet at that point, because now you're scared to go back to sleep. If you're scared to go to sleep, what that mean? Sabbath breaking, no rest, the body gonna shut down. Viruses gonna kick in because you're tired. You're scared to go back to sleep. What do you think the term nightmare came from? And look, I'm gonna tell you something, let you go. The 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock hour is our hour of prayer. Mentioned in Matthew 27 when the Messiah gave up the ghost, it was the 9th hour, Acts 3 and 1. The 9th hour of prayer is the most sacred time to pray. All times are good, don't get me wrong, but there's a time called the hour of prayer, where you go in your closet 3 times a day and you speak personally to the Father. That's the hour of prayer. You try to get it in between 2 p.m. to 2:59. That's the 9th hour. 3 p.m. will be the 10th hour. You don't want to go, I'm not saying you can't pray in the 10th hour, but if you want to set aside the 3 required prayers, morning, noon, and evening, the 3 o'clock is the hour of prayer. Now on the flip side of that, at night, 12 o'clock they call the devil's hour. That's the hour when your grandmother used to tell you, Lord, Lord, midnight rambler, you come in about 12:30. Midnight rambler. Baby, ain't nothing out there that open that late but legs in the hospital. Well, Big Mama ain't been to the hospital. So, and then he comes at the hour or the 4th watch of the night. It's called watches because they're in increments of 3. So he'll come at 3 a.m. in the morning. If you ever wake up out of your sleep, look at the clock. What time is it? 3 a.m. Phone will ring and wake you up at 3 a.m. Hello? Hello? Unknown call. 3 o'clock. Look, phone ring, nobody on there. You get woke up, you look at it, it's 3 o'clock, then you go back to sleep, y'all, because that's when he attacks. That's his hour, but that hour still belonged to the Messiah because he prayed at those hours at night when the disciples got tired and fell asleep. He like, can't y'all stay up with me 1 hour? He was in this watch praying at that hour. We say, this is the time we ought to be praying in your subconscious. You have to pray in your dreams. You have to say, the Lord, save my soul, get this beast away from me, and they will disappear. If you call on the Messiah and that choking thing, it will just leave. If you holler 3 times, it will get off your chest and never come back because it know you prepare for spiritual warfare.
That's right.
But you can't be delighting and doing like this. Yes, it'll be Beyonce tonight. That's Jay-Z's wife.
See, you notice he said, see, that's what, you notice what he just said? See, that's how Satan was using his trickery. He sent me my own.
Right.
It wasn't a strange woman that walked in my doorway. It was 3 a man.
But all that shows is lasciviousness. Understand what it's saying? They're still showing, like he's saying, greediness. What are you going to do? By the time the 3rd one, ain't nothing left but dog water. Y'all, let's move on.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Where you at in there? Go ahead.
I just wanted to add to tell her something right quick. I was also going to add to say, be careful what you watch at nighttime.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes it worse.
The last thing you watch.
I started listening to Psalms because you told me to start reading and focusing on Psalms.
Yeah.
I play Psalms all night now.
Good.
And this was the first night where it just went all night continually. And all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. I started feeling things and I just jumped up. I thought somebody was in my room.
Look, that's how supernatural it gets. You can actually feel it. This is why I want y'all to understand it, and only men can really understand this. A wet dream. And y'all don't want to get graphic, but you have to understand the power of the mental to make that happen. You couldn't do that physically now without no friction or some type of rubbing.
Concentrate.
Concentration. You can't even concentrate in this flesh like this in it out.
Right. I was just about to say that.
But sleep, it happens because it's supernatural. You have to understand the power of your mental able to go to places and make your body. If it can do that, then you can heal yourself. If you can make that happen, but understand what's happening to us below the belt. Dream you was cured of cancer if you got that. Dream these things was happening and tell yourself and watch your soul tell your flesh what to do. But we ain't never been taught that. Right. We've been taught to stay away from dreams and don't trust them and nightmares and the boogeyman gonna come and get you in your dream. So you fear it like they teach you don't go into the book of Revelation. How you not gonna go in the book and it start off the revelation, the revealing of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ, his second coming. How you gonna be scared of what you're praying for? And when the Lord comes, and then you won't read Revelations. Bless it. So we're gonna move on, Cisco. Got to get caught back up with these contradictions real quick. Did we finish that, John?
No, we in.
Read that real quick, and no more interruptions on this, y'all. Let them roll. Go ahead, bro.
We're in the book of Enoch, chapter 48, starting at verse 1.
What does it say?
It's on the board, too. It's lining up. And in that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, which was inexhaustible. And around it were many fountains of wisdom. And all the thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom. And their dwellings were with the righteous and holy and elect. And at that hour the Son of Man was named.
Who was named?
The Son of Man was named. In the presence of the Lord of spirits. And his name before the head of days. Before the sun and the signs were created.
Y'all see this? So this saying this not lead to Son of Man that you may hear Ezekiel call Son of Man. This is saying it was before the sun was created. The sun was created on the 4th day. So this is before then. So it's letting you know it's before the light we have to use for day and night. Like it mentions in Genesis 1 and 1 and 1 and 2. What is that light? Before the sun and the moon was created on the 4th day. That light. Go ahead, read some more.
Before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of the heaven were made, his name was named before the Lord of spirits.
See, the Messiah's name was named before the Father, before the earth was created. That's the pure name we're going to get back. That's the name where we won't find out until that day. When he says, well done, servant. You know my name now. Because you know his name if he tell you well done. You know who I am. You done battled this thing in your sleep, conscious and unconsciously. And y'all consciousness is more in your sleep than when we awake. We walking around like zombies. In your sleep is where the test is at. Because we're going to dream dreams. And we're going to see visions. You're going to see supernatural things. You got to know how to maneuver within the dreams. So when you wake up, you like this, Lord, that was sweet. But if you wake up looking around and scared to look up under the bed, if you scared to get out of bed, that means piss gonna be in the bed. What else you gonna do? Let's read some more.
Verse 4. He shall be a staff to the righteous whereon to stay themselves and not fall. And he shall be the light of the Gentiles.
What shall he be?
The light of the Gentiles. And the hope of those who are troubled of heart. All who dwell on earth shall fall down and worship before him.
All those that dwell where?
On earth shall fall down and worship before him. And will praise and bless and celebrate with song the Lord of spirits. And for this reason hath he been chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world and forevermore.
Before the what?
Creation of the world and forevermore.
Go ahead.
And the wisdom of the Lord of spirits hath revealed him to the holy and righteous. For he hath preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and despised this world of unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved.
For in his what?
Name they are saved. And according to his good pleasure hath it been in regard to their life. In these days downcast in countenance shall the king of the earth have become, and the strong who possess the land because of the works of their hands. For on the day of their anguish and affliction they shall not be able to save themselves. And I will give them over into the hands of mine elect. As straw in the fire, so shall they burn before the face of the holy. As lead in the water shall they sink before the face of the righteous. And no trace of them shall any more be found. And on the day of their affliction there shall be rest on the earth. And before them they shall fall and not rise again. And there shall be no one to take them with his hands and raise them. For they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed.
Read that again. They have done what?
For they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed.
See, y'all, so right here, this is the glory he's talking about. This is what he's talking about in John 3:13. So when a naysayer try to bring you this, you're like, brother, let's get back to the root of this matter. Enoch and Elijah went nowhere to this level. When you get back, it's up to 47 and 46 chapter, you see why Satan was trying to pull a Bogart and ascend up to that level. They blocked anything else from getting to that level. He was the anointed cherub. They was covering like this, but it wasn't above. They wanted to go up there. I'm sick of covering this ram. I want to see what's up there. Who with me? Look, man, there's only 2 of them up there. We can take that. What y'all scared of? Scared? Get on with me. Go down on earth and deal with that dirt man. Who with me? And there we go. He can do it to this day. Same way. Jump on your lust. All them other third of the angels wanted to see beyond that point. What's up there? What's up there? But we see the end of Revelation 22, and then we shall see the face of God, that he really exists. And that day, but not before. If you try to rush it, you're going to find anybody that look close to God. Well, he got dreads, and he read real well.
Amen.
Hey, let me say this real quick. That we just read these 10 verses in the book of Enoch, right? And we just been starting this class off talking about names, right? Did we see any name in there that we commonly know, but what we read and the names that we read, we know who they was talking about, don't we?
Right.
But it
wasn't no question.
But
But it didn't name nobody.
Right.
Not in the physical name.
Didn't see no name, but we knew who the Lord of Spirits was, and when they was talking about, and see, it said all that without saying God, Jesus, you know, all that. It said, talked about the names that we just read. We all knew who they was talking about, and it didn't say Jesus or Yahshua, right? But we all knew that, right? So we see what a name is. We
Absolutely.
knew what the work it was associated with. When it described the sun, we knew who it was talking about.
That's right.
Before the sun was ever created on the 4th day, he was made.
Let us make man.
It didn't say no name, did it? But we knew who it was talking about.
Because it's talking about Elohim. Elohim is plural for this perspective. It's talking about 3 separate entities with one thought process. Man and woman shall become what? How many flesh?
One flesh.
But that's 2 different individuals, ain't it?
That's right.
But they start to think like, and when you've been together long enough, you start to look alike. How is that happening? Look, y'all, and we're talking about a marriage covenant that lasts. You can say what you want about Barbara Bush, but they was married longer than the promise of life.
72 years.
73.
76.
That's just married. Abraham, but we got to top that. 90 and 9. Still married. Sarah was 127, still married when she died. So y'all, we're talking about a covenant that we got to stay on track with, no matter what happens. Every one of Abraham's dreams from the Most High was in a what? In a vision. And the vision was true, to see the future. Y'all, if we can look down the line and see them grandshorties back there, sitting out in the church back there, 200 years from now. Well, that may be a problem to somebody because you're saying, damn, 2 more 100 years? I ain't gonna be here. Well, let's get right back to it, y'all. These 2 examples, y'all, we're gonna get out of here. 2 Samuel 24:1, this is the second one they go to, and it's about numbering Israel. Did the Lord tell David to do it, or did Satan tell him to do it? Well, y'all, we got to play by the rules. If we bag it up or move it forward, y'all, then we're gonna hit the one about who killed Goliath and Goliath's brother. That's the other one they point to. It's a bunch more that they try to point to. But if you let them get 5 on board, y'all, you're going to be looking at the Bible like I don't trust it no more. Then you're going to start going to YouTube and trusting other books. Shalom, bro.
Shalom, bro. Shalom, Hebrew.
2 Samuel 24:1. Y'all, we're going to hit these last 4. Y'all, we're going to get on out of here. What's so-called contradiction? Y'all, these in the Old Testament. It's one thing they telling y'all the New Testament tamper with, but now they pointing to the Old Testament. What you gonna do now?
2 Samuel 24:1. Oh, I heard the page.
How we doing out there in the worldwide audience land? Y'all good?
All right.
What they saying? They good?
24:1. 2 Samuel. And again, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. And he moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Judah. For the king said to Joab, the captain of the host, which was with him, go now through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, and number ye the people, that I may know the number of the people.
So, this says the Lord told David to go do this to number Israel. And y'all probably wondering why it's an issue. Why should we number Israel? Why should there be a census about that? Why shouldn't the world know how many of us it is? It wasn't that per se. It's an understanding about how the Father gives instructions about numbering Israel. There's instructions for it. In the law that tell us how and when to number our people. So the contradiction is 1 Chronicles 21:1. So y'all hold that spot and just flip right over the Chronicles, a few books up, 21:1, y'all, and this is what they are going to say is the contradiction. Forward. 1 Chronicles 21:1. Yeah. Hold on, let me make sure. Yep, that's good. Yeah. Okay. So y'all just hold that last 1 Samuel. Y'all flip back and forth and see if your eyes playing tricks on it.
21:1. First Chronicles 21:1. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. And David said to Joab and to the rulers of the people, go, number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, that I may know.
Now, is that the same exact story? We just got a difference in who said the number, right? So, y'all, that's what we have to really look at about this. So, but before we do that, flip back to the 2 Samuel 21, because see what they don't do, they don't keep reading. I'm just going to go to verse 10 for time's sake, so you can understand that David first said, I made a problem with this. See, that's why David's heart was like the Lord. You know, David, when he found out he messed up, he didn't try to cover his sin because he got caught. He wasn't repenting because he got caught. He's repenting because I done tripped again. Yo, this King David. So you can't put him above the Messiah and think when it's talking and it's mentioning David, it's talking about the root of David at time. David could be never Micah 5. David could never be from everlasting, from of old, out of Bethlehem. Yeah, he born in Bethlehem, but this will say from everlasting, from the beginning. We just read who was at the beginning, and that wasn't David. We just read in John where he completed the work with no errors. That wasn't David. That's the offspring of David, the root though, and the offspring. That's right. Before David and after him. Alpha and Omega. So we don't get it twisted and take one in the middle and we try to put a blemished lamb up there. Where we at? Read that. Oh, we good right there? Verse 10 of that 2 Samuel 24 that 2 Samuel 24 verse 10. Just hit that. And then we're going to get to the law of numbering and we're going to see what David did wrong. And then you're going to see how Satan incites people to do something and then they do it against the Lord's instruction. Yes, Satan initially brought it to David, but David, lust in his heart, wanted to do it. He wanted to know what the number was, but it's a reason we don't number for certain reasons. And Satan got him to do that while we had war with the Philistines. Philistines knowing numbers now. Should we tell them how many soldiers we got? Should you ever tell anybody that?
No.
What does it say, verse 10?
Verse 10. And David's heart smote him after that he had numbered the people. And David said unto the Lord, I have sinned great.
I have done what?
I have sinned great. And that I have done, and that I have done. And now I beseech thee, O Lord, take away the iniquity of thy servant.
See right here, so David repented for what he did, but if you let them stop you there, it's going to be a contradictory. So the Lord don't tempt with evil. So that's the first thing you got to look at when you say the Lord said, stir it up David to do that. When it say a stirring up, it's not the Holy Spirit. It's like you want to do it anyway. Go on, do it. You want to number Israel. You want to do it. You want to see how it was back in the day when Moses did this. So y'all hold that. We just hit this Exodus 30 and we're going to get the law of numbering Israel. So we remove the contradiction. And we see Satan always come and try people before the Lord. He did it with Job. He did it with Abraham. He did it about Isaac. And he'll do it with you. Your servant down there, Tobias, to make sure that work go out. Yeah, I saw him smiling on the phone about 2 in the morning, Lord. Can I get at it? Who you talking about? No, he was breaking off scripts at that time. Well, we'll see. Can I get at it? And the Lord will give him permission to get at you, not trying you with evil, but trying your faith, because the Lord is confident that you won't fall. Lot lived in Sodom and Gomorrah, and this nation can't compare to what was going on in there. They had beds on street corners. Y'all think about going out on King's Highway and y'all see porno on the corner of Martin Luther King and King's Highway. Once you get past all the accidents, because if you rubberneck about a regular car accident, you sure neck gonna be stretched over like this. Did you see that?
And going back to
Y'all read Jasher 19th chapter. Y'all want to see what Sodom and Gomorrah was about. The freak meat. Where a man would take his wife and daughter and they separate for 2 weeks. He would go get with women, she go get with other men, and then when the 2 weeks over, they come back, everybody got the shades out. Y'all have a good time, I did. No, it didn't just start in Atlanta. Exodus 30 and 12, y'all. We got a couple more, y'all, on this next one, and we're going to get on out of here.
Bro. 22.
Start at 11. Exodus 30 and 11. Who got it?
Book of Exodus, chapter 30, verse 11.
What it say?
And the Lord spake unto
Hold
Moses.
on, the page is flipped.
Exodus 30, verse 11.
What it say?
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, when thou takest the sum of the children of Israel after their number, then shall they give every man a ransom for his soul unto the Lord.
Right.
When thou numberest them, that there be no plague among them, when thou numberest them. This they shall give, every one that passeth among them that are numbered, half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary.
32.
Say shekel is 20.
No, read it like you read. It was
Whisper, go ahead.
A shekel is 20 garrets.
So it's telling you how much a shekel is. So now you got to find out what a gerah is. Go ahead.
And half shekel shall be the offering of the Lord.
Right.
Every one that passeth among them that are numbered from 20 years old and above shall give an offering unto the Most High.
Right.
The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less.
See, it don't care about what status you is. He made it to a point that where every man doing the census could offer this money. The rich, because they rich, is still a half shekel. The poor, still a half shekel. Poor don't mean you don't got nothing. Poor just means you're scrapping from day to day. You're working, but you're working for paychecks. You're 2 checks from homeless. The rich don't have that problem, but he's not going to take it from the rich and make them pay more because they may have done right that don't have them in a poor position. You may be having a problem with money, but that don't eliminate you. You don't understand money, so you may have become poor, or you was just born into a family with no inheritance. But you still have to work and make a living for yourself. You have to be able to feed yourself. Where we at?
Verse 15 again.
What it say?
The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less than half a shekel, when they give an offering unto the Lord, to make an atonement for your souls. And thou shalt take the atonement money of the children of Israel, and shalt appoint it for the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, that it may be a memorial unto the children of Israel before the Lord, to make an atonement for your souls.
See, y'all can read the rest of that, but that was what it was about. Whenever you number Israel from 20 and up, we got to get money because we have to store up the what we call our welfare system for the fatherless and the widow. This is why everybody had to contribute something. But he made the payment so low that everybody could afford this. Just like the Passover, he made it where everybody could get a lamb. If somebody next door didn't have enough, and this person, you can't eat a whole lamb, it's just you and your wife, you would make sure that they have something. But they had to contribute. Everybody has to contribute. There's a difference in being poor and a beggar, the scriptures talk about. And it's Sirach 40. It says, to die is better than to be a beggar. That's not poor. Poor means we both was working at General Motors and they laid us off. So now we on unemployment. You go from $25, $30 an hour, we're down to unemployment. $380 a week. And you're just making that about every other day. So now you're in a poor status. But that don't eliminate you because you have to work to get it back up. You cannot go to no work because no work, how you going to do the Sabbath? You can't rest for 7 days. Can you? How you going to rest from resting?
I'm talking about I'm really holding.
The rules of the Sabbath, 6 days thou should work. On the 7th day you rest. If ain't no work, you ain't resting. So you can't become a beggar that it speaks of. Because it say you're going to go house to house. You're going to live from house to house. Because you've accepted, I'm not going to work. I don't have a plan for this. I'm going to beg my way through this. And you know it when a grown man asks you for $2, you know he's not poor. He's a beggar. $2 ain't going to do nothing for a grown man. $2 $2 won't do nothing for them shorties back there. They can't even get 2 Chico sticks with $2. So you have to understand why this number count was there. It's so a man makes sure the poor you have with you always. We always gonna have the poor so we don't forget how to give. Until the Messiah come back, then it ain't gonna be no poor. But begging is something different. And I'm not saying just look at the people with a blind eye that's on the street corner, you know, they got a sign out there. But if they say we'll work for food, call them on it. Tell them, look, bro, I got these leaves and look at here. What you think about that? How many bags of leaves for that pot? You don't want the back of the truck. That's what the sign say. Huh? But even in Proverbs, it tell you, a thief can't steal unless it's to satisfy his soul.
Yeah, don't break him up.
See, it's not saying he can get away with stealing, but if you're about to die, you have to, if you see an apple in somebody's backyard and you grab it and bite it, you just can't put apples in your pocket. You have to satisfy that hunger so you can move on. But it says when you get on your feet, you got to bring back 7 apples. So that you're not getting comfortable within somebody's yard. When we planted vineyards, you had to leave this much portion of border for the homeless or hungry. You had to leave that part so that they can eat. But they couldn't come in here. That's when the disciples was going through the corn and they was plucking the corn. They were hungry and they was eating it as they was going. It wasn't stealing. They wasn't putting it in their bag. But the Pharisees said, they breaking the law. They eating on the side. He's like, look, man, we working. Working people have to eat. So y'all, that's what not makes that a contradictory, what we was talking about, that numbering process. Whoever pointed to that don't know the numbering and don't know the law of it. So it becomes a contradictory to them and they don't know the way of God, that he allows Satan to challenge you. David knew these rules. He knew how he was supposed to get. What y'all reading there about him gathering the shekels from 20 and up? Did y'all read that? And all of that Samuel, did David do that when he sent his boys out to do what he's supposed to do? He said, I'm singing. I'm tripping. I'm trying to number Israel because I'm at war with the Philistines. They putting their battle on the rate. Let's get our people out there. Let's show them what this scrap is about. But it ain't about the numbers, y'all, because ain't nothing we can do with these world powers. What you gonna do with them 9mm and 45s you got at home and they got nuclear warheads? What you gonna do? Look, and if they attack on January the 2nd, we through. We just shot them all up New Year's Eve, January the 1st then. December the 31st, you done unloaded all you had. It sounds like Beirut around here. If the Klan kick in on January the 1st, you through. All you can do is throw your pistol at it. So we're gonna, that's the only one. This other one, y'all, we're gonna get right to it on who killed Goliath, and y'all, we're gonna call it a day.
Psalms 36 is the closing psalm for y'all taking notes.
First, y'all, we got to do something because it's very important in the language of how we understand what's pointed to as a contradiction. David is 2 separate ages in these scriptures, right? So how old was David when he killed Goliath? They say he was a little boy, 14, 15 years old, right? So when they point to it, they point to David being a grown man. Stories ain't matching up like how we just matched up both of them. They're 2 different time periods. You got one a little boy and you got the other one a grown man. So either the Bible is contradicting itself or we way out of line with understanding what appears to be a contradiction by gainsayers. We sit back like this, point out another. When you get through, because they don't know the rules of the Bible. They're counting on you not knowing to join them in the gainsaying religion. Where we at? Let's get these last 2, y'all. 1 Samuel 17:42. And then we're going to get right to the 2 in question so that we're able to defend this word of the Most High.
Tell me where you're going so I can type them out.
1 Samuel 17:42.
I thought you said 177. I'm like, what book is that? 1 Samuel.
Well, you say you need a hearing aid with them glasses. Y'all, we ain't got long these last couple scriptures. Y'all, we're gonna get on out of here. But y'all, we got to be prepared for these gainsayers, y'all, because in the last days they coming, y'all. Look, and the main reason they're gonna come because their comfort zone is gonna be taken away. When the money dry up, y'all, it's gonna be a problem. Just like it was for the rich man. All these commandments I keep. Go sell all you got and follow me. Uh-oh. What'd he do? Went away sorrowfully. Y'all have to think about that. That's why Donald Trump can't sleep. Up tweet. He thinking about his money. He thinking about his money. What is the stock market gonna say? What's happening with that, with my money? I can't become regular no more. Up that early thinking about his money, which is his God. That's why he's so arrogant. What you gonna tell a billionaire?
Give me some money.
And he got power to pardon. He ain't worried about shame. Y'all heard what he said on the tape with Billy Bush? Where he likes to grab. Where we at? Let's read this. 2 Samuel. 1 Samuel 17:42. Let's get it, y'all.
We're in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, starting at verse 42.
That's right.
And it reads, "And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth, and ruddy, and of a fair countenance."
So David was a youngster, suave looking little youngster, smooth about the skin, stout, about 14, 15 years old, but a youth. Go ahead.
"And the Philistine said unto David, Am I a dog, that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and the beast of the field."
And to the beast of the field.
"And to the beast of the field. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Most High of hosts, the Elohim of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied."
So you see how David answered him right back. He came to him cussing at him with his God. The gods of the Philistines. A new bold God. He naming them all out. But David was like Jordan when, y'all know that boy used to do like this. Was that Manute Bowl? When somebody tried to dunk on him, he wiped it away. No, no, no.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, Dikembe Mutombo. Thank you, bro. But they came up against Jordan, that Judite. Flew over the top of him and he was looking up like this. And dunked in his face. Coming with fourth try. No, no, no. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 46. "This day will the Most High deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee, and take thine head from thee. And I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel."
So y'all know what happened after that, but you see what David gave the glory to, and he said, not only you talked about I'm gonna be just dead out here and the birds gonna eat me up, but your whole army gonna get ate up and devoured today. And we see what David did, charged him and hit him in his forehead, right here, where his mental at, where he was doing all that tough talking at, confused that, and he fell flat on his face, knocked his equilibrium off. And y'all can't think about the power of God with that sling. You thinking it's just a rock and hit the giant in the head. Y'all think about a tornado. A tornado can push a straw through a 2x4.
A broom straw through a tree.
Yeah, right.
That's the power of a tornado. The force and wind power would send a straw through a 2x4. And you're looking at this and they're looking at this. What kind of wind and power is this? That's why Psalm 83, he torment the nations with his storms and with his tempests, because ain't nobody they can call on at that point. You can't call on no nuclear warhead when a tornado is coming 5 miles wide. 5 miles from here to where? Belltown? A tornado that wide sweeping through 600 miles an hour. What you gonna do? All the nigga jokes stop. You know, it was 2 niggers at a bar and Lord have mercy. All this stuff. So we just want to get that so y'all can see that David was a youngster at this time. So let's get right to the contradictory part that they try to, the gainsayers try to do. 2 Samuel 21. And it's again a story about giants being killed of the same family. Goliath was a family of giants. Y'all, they were possessed by those spirits before the flood. All of them had 6 fingers on every hand and 6 toes on every foot. That was common. I'm not talking about how we grew up with people in the projects and they had a little nub right there. He got 6 fingers. No, I know that's a nub. I'm talking about 6 of these. And 6 of them are on their toes. So when you look at this time, you're like, wait a minute. I'm counting 12.
Yep. I had a cousin, they called their brother 12 finger. Get away from me, 12 finger.
12 fingers. 2 Samuel 21:19. Let's get that. Y'all, we got one more. We're going to get on out of here.
21:19. Second change.
Let me get caught up. Y'all, we have to do these things, y'all, so that we able to represent the name of our Father. Y'all, this is name, y'all, we got to be ready. How somebody going to tell you that's impure? How somebody going to show you contradictory in here? We just read what a naysayer was. A contradictory artist, rebellious, denying the faith. That's who's coming in these last days, y'all, and it's going to come hot and heavy. It's going to come every angle and going to try to pound you out to make you lose your faith so it'd be easier for the Antichrist. Look, you have believe it anyway. Come on and join up with us. Take the mark. Look at them babies, they hungry. They ain't eaten in 3 days. Come on and take the mark. Let's read. Y'all, these last 2 we're going to get on out of here. Go ahead, where we at?
2 Samuel 21:15.
19. Yeah.
21:19. And there was again a battle in Gold with the Philistines, where Elhanan,
right there,
the son of Jahar, Oregon, a Bethlehemite, slew the brother of Goliath.
Slew who?
Slew the brother of Goliath.
So now they're looking at this, but this is plain English. Slew the brother of Goliath. But as we're going to get down, they're pointing to the last verse. But we're going to keep on reading. Go ahead.
A Bethlehemite who slew the brother of Goliath, the Gittite, the staff of whose spear was like a weaver's beam.
And y'all understand what we talk about. Y'all got a regular bow and arrow. Y'all know the arrow part is about that wide and it comes to a point. It says his spear, the tip of his spear was like a weaver's beam. A weaver, you know, it's twice the size. It's about the size of that. So if he throw his spear at you, it's going to basically cut you in half. A weaver's beam, so it's wide. That's how wide the tip of his spear was. You know, or his sword when he come at you. Go ahead.
20. And there was yet a battle in Gath, where was a man of great stature that had on every hand 6 fingers.
How many fingers?
6 fingers. And on every foot 6 toes. 4 and 20 in number.
4 and 20. What's 4 and 20? What's 4 plus 20?
24.
Go ahead.
And he also was born to the giant. And when he defiled Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the brother of David, slew him.
So, Shemaiah, the son of this person, the brother of David. So what would this be to David?
His cousin?
Nephew.
No. His nephew, his nephew.
His nephew.
Yeah.
It's David's nephew. Go ahead.
Okay. And, 21 again. And when he defiled Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the brother of David, slew him. 22. These four were born to the giant in Gad, and fell by the hand of David and the hand of his servants.
So, see, they point to this one verse. They say he fell by the hand of David. So he's saying which one killed. But when you're talking about the house of David, that's the house of David. That's why I told you it's David's nephew. It's still the house of David. Or we not the house of David.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to understand when he's talking about it's his lineage. This is on down the line. This is nephew. And up before it's the other brother here in verse 19, Elidam. He did some killing, but these are the offspring of David. It's what they kept calling the Messiah. Thou son of who?
David.
How long did the distance between David and the Messiah? That's 14 generations. 14 generations from David to Abraham. There's 14 generations and they call it the Messiah, the son of David. Now, did David live 14 generations? A generation is either 40 years, the lifespan, or when a man should know which direction he going, or it's the lifespan, 70 years. So 14 times 70, whatever you coming up with that number, David didn't live that long. The way the record reads, David died at 70 years old. When you read the numbers on how long he reigned in Hebron and before he got there, 70 years old. So we know when the Messiah is called thou son of David, it's just talking about the offspring of David, but he's the root and the offspring of David. So you have to understand, if they don't do, you have to point this out to them. This is the offsprings of David, the house of David. Because when in this war, as you continue on, you'll see David was fighting with some more of them Hamite giants. And it say he started to grow faint. This wasn't a young David at this point. This was an older David. That his bobbing and weaving wasn't the same when he was a young boy, when the spirit was completely over him, because he wasn't sinning like he was when he was an adult. His flesh wasn't breaking down. He's a young man full of fire and spirit when he took Goliath. He killed a bear and a lion before he killed Goliath. A bear grabbed his father's sheep. He went to the bear, stole him and snatched the bear up, twisted a lion's mouth sideways. Now he can't chew. Broke his jaw this way. When he was 14 or 15. So when he looked at Goliath, he's like, this easy work. But when David is fighting his second war with a giant of the seeds of Goliath, or the household, it's a whole household of them giants. It said David started getting weak. Don't mean they was getting the best of him, but he wasn't sharp as he was. That catching his second wind wasn't the same like it is when you're a youngster and you can play 30 games of basketball. But 2 games right now have you on the side. Call my mama. Y'all see my Gatorade or somebody get my Gatorade.
That's what I was going to say, that even Jordan had to retire.
So they had to grab David. The younger soldiers said, David, get back. And then they took over and they handled all of them. They say we can't allow the light of Israel to go out. If David killed David, no Messiah. So that's why we have to be one body and watch each other's back. See, I just turned 57. What I look like out there scrapping with a youngster? I still can move and get out the way. But a body shot, them youngsters may say, and wind break. You be like, oh, then you get back and youngster hit you with hard body shots. I mean, that's bang up, you know. But I can't get hit with another one of them. Let the youngsters get up in there.
Trying not to pull that pistol out.
Y'all get on up in there. Look, I got to stay back and get some direction. No, duck that!
And you know what? You can't call on Big Brother like you used to either. Big Brother needs help too now.
Right. Yes, sir.
Say, Nerf, you ain't stepping in. Get back.
All right, y'all, so we see that, and we see that his son. Now, let's go to 1 Chronicles 25 through 8, and this is where they were saying the contradictory was before we found out this was David's nephew and his other brother's son. In verse 19, a Bethlehemite. It was just another brother from Bethlehem.
You said
living in that ring. Yeah, we're going to 1 Chronicles 25 and 8. And this is the second part of this so-called contradictory for those who not knowing the understanding of these scriptures and when events are taking place.
Well, you say that body shop was
boy. Your kidneys can't take what you used to when you was 15 and 16. Y'all know how we used to do. We used to go body down. In the project, you know, you going body, they going body. You knew it wasn't a fight because they going body down. Ain't nobody going heads up. Now when they say heads up, it's gonna turn into a fight.
All right, right.
But body down, you getting it in, and you hold, you let him get it in. I can't do that now. Body down will be a body down.
And the ambulance on the way.
And we gonna move on. Nerve, my brother, and the dude named Christie in the project was a known, he was the Eddie Haskell. Y'all know Eddie Haskell from Leave It a Beat.
Yeah.
You be in line at school waiting to go in, he run past, hit you in the stomach, and keep on running. His teeth always bleed. He had some kind of pyrrhea in his gums or something. He'd be smiling, teeth be bloody as hell. But Nerf was riding his bike. And as soon as Nerf rolled by, he jumped from behind and stole him in the side. They got off, they going body down. But my mama was coming home from work in the cab. And she saw it when it was Christie's turn and Nerf was in defense. He worked him over. She told the cab to stop, she jumped out. Damn! Whoop his mother! You better whoop his mother! Nerf started going heads up. Christie took off. He like, boy, she was looking crazy. Then she threw $2 or whatever she threw to the cab driver, and they walked on home. But I mean, that's how quick it turned. Nerf like, man,
Mama said, he said we were playing
it was gonna be worse for me with her than it is out here with Christie. Cab slid on back. You better whoop this mother. You better whoop it, or I'm whooping you. But not today, y'all. 1 Chronicles 25:8, y'all. We're gonna get on out of here.
Book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 25, verse 8. And they cast lots, ward against ward, as well as the small as the great, the teacher as the scholar. Now the first lot came forth by Asa to Joseph, the second to Gedaliah, who with his brother and sons were 12. The third to Zachari, his sons and his brethren were 12. The fourth to Israel, his sons and his brethren were 12.
Yeah, you're going on down to 8. You're going to read all this.
Okay.
The fifth to Nathaniah, his sons and his brethren were 12. The sixth to Bechiah, his sons and his brethren were 12. The seventh to Jeshariah, his sons and his brethren were 12. The eighth to Yeshaiah, his sons.
Where you at? What you read?
1 Chronicles
20.
First
What verse you in?
25 and 15 now.
Right. That's what you said, 25 and 8.
No, 1 Chronicles 25 through 8.
Oh, 1 through 8.
25.
No. 1 Chronicles 20, 5 through 8.
1 Chronicles 20, 5 through 8.
Yeah, you said 25.
I ain't said 25.
It's 25 through 8.
1 Chronicles 20, 5 through 8.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, what he brought? Read those.
Okay, 5.
Yeah. I'm talking real quick, y'all. Y'all, let's that Starkville, Mississippi will leap out of here every now and then.
Okay, we got 1 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this gonna match up with y'all, that's 2 Samuel 21.
Okay.
And then again, y'all, we're gonna see the same thing of who killed Goliath. And the question ain't, did David do it or did this boy do it? If you don't know, the offspring of David did. It's his offspring. When you hear about Esau killing, Esau been dead 100 years, it's talking about his offspring. When you read the book of Obadiah, you think it's talking about the original Esau? It's talking about all his offspring. The book of Obadiah is a future prophecy. Edom. It's telling you his remnants left of him from the original father. Given the land of Mount Seir in Genesis 36 chapter, got 12 or 13 tribes. The Dukes and the Temans. And today you look up Duke in any dictionary of British European royalty. Trading places. There's always been a Duke on the stock exchange. The Duke of Earl, the Duke of Edinburgh. They tell you who they are right to your face, but we don't see it. But on Judgment Day, you're going to be showed. You were so busy laughing at trading places, you didn't even hear them calling themselves Esau. You think a duke would ever let a nigger sit on our board? No, I didn't think so.
Right.
And Eddie's sitting down there smoking a joint.
Right.
But they telling you who they are. If you look at that dictionary right now, Duke, Teeman of British European royalty, the Dukes. Got some rough parts of them too, some trailer trash, the Dukes of Hazzard. But the same ones. Same ones. Where we at? Let's get there.
1 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 5. And there was war again with the Philistines, and Elhanan, the son of Jahar, slew Lamih.
Go ahead.
Slew Lamih, the brother of Goliath, the Gittite, whose spear staff was like a weaver's beam. And yet again, there was war in Gath. Where was a man of great stature, whose fingers and toes were 4 and 20, 6 on each hand and 6 on each foot.
So ain't that saying the same thing? We read the same exact story. Right. Same count. Go ahead.
And he also was the son of the giant. But when he defiled Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, slew him. These were born unto the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants.
That's it, bro.
So we dropped off line. Look at that camera. I think we dropped off line.
I got it now.
Okay. So that's it. So y'all see again, y'all, what we're looking at is understanding what the scripture is saying about numbering and who killed who. If you let them point to one scripture, the rule is everything must be established by what? 2 witnesses. They gave you 2 witnesses, but they didn't understand the process of what was taking place here and the root and the offspring. When you get into Ezekiel 34 and you get into Ezekiel 37, one gonna call David a prince, the other one gonna call David a king. Is this talking about the same David? No, when you get into the one that calls him a king, you're going to understand that's talking about the Messiah. And when you get to the one you're going to see about the prince, you're going to understand that's talking about the King David, who will be prince in Israel. But Yahushua, Yehoshua, Yeshua, the captain of the host, the mighty redeemer, is going to be above David, right there. And David going to tell you, this is who I was foreshadowing. This is who it was about. But I'm not him. David committed many transgressions. We read a couple of them in here. Y'all know what he did with Bathsheba. And it's just some of them. The rest of the acts of David are written in the book of Nathan. Who got the book of Nathan? Who got the book of Edo? Or not the rest of the acts of David written in the book of Edo? Those books probably got David's description down to the left. And he had an afro. With a wooden pick comb stuck in the back of it. And his skin was as the skin of a dark-colored man. And because you're reading how it talk about Solomon, those books, they ain't gonna never let us get a hold of them. But it's enough in here to let us know if we don't get them books, this 66 include everything. So y'all, that's all I wanted to hit on. Y'all look at that, while I was talking about David, that I think it's 2 Samuel 21 and 15, where David grew faint. You know, and he started getting tired when he was handling that sword. And the youngsters had to get him back. You know, because it's times that the kings would go out and they would represent. They would see our king, the other nation. David come out, cut a few heads off, and they move him back. David should have been out there when he saw Bathsheba. That was the time he should have been out to war, but he laid back, chilling and walking out on that balcony. Uh-oh!
What do we have here?
Who is that? And immediately he was told,
bring her to me.
That's the wife of Uriah, your top soldier. The Hittite who's loyal to you from the nation of them Hamites, killing his own for you. That's his
right
wife.
now.
Your name, he's like, yeah. What was in David's heart? But that's a Hittite. What he doing with that Hebrew beast?
Yep.
Don't know what was in David's mind, but he say sin for. But when they said it's the wife of Uriah, it should have been cut off. He should have been like, oh, get my chariot and let me catch up with them at the wall. It's the same thing when a lady in the grocery store, you married? When Slick Willie move up, hey baby, you married? Yes, I'm married. The conversation should stop there.
You happy?
But are you happy? What does that mean? What the hell does that mean, but are you happy? It can only mean one thing, sexually. What else is he talking about? What's she supposed to do? Oh, they got a flower. And he just ain't brought, say he was going to work and still come home, pockets was empty. I'm just, and then that wasn't nothing what he was trying to do the other day. Is that what she's supposed to say? If she say, hell no, I ain't happy. I got 8 children here that needs a daddy. I'm short on this grocery list right here. I was hoping to beg a strength. You got that money and I got some different. Put some responsibility on that question if you have it. Hell no, I'm short. And I was catching the bus with these groceries. You got a car? Hey, let's get this prayer and get out of here. Anybody got any questions before we close out?
Any announcement? I want to show you one thing down on the computer before.
Okay, sister got a couple announcements, y'all. We're going to get out of here. Sis, you cool over there? You good? All right. Go ahead, sis.
In the morning.
Huh? Garden duties in the morning, y'all. We got the, if it ain't dropped down to 30 degrees, y'all, we got the community garden on Goodfellow between Terry and Roosevelt. If y'all want to go up there and show a few of y'all skills, how y'all then grow potatoes or tomatoes in your backyard. Come on up there and see what you got.
We actually need all hands on deck because we're getting 2 more beds installed.
No, that's the 6th.
Oh, the 6th, I'm sorry.
Okay, on the 6th, 2 more beds.
Yeah, so the next 2 weeks we'll be in the garden this week ending, and then the following week will be the 6th. Is it the 6th?
Yeah. Y'all, and understand what she's talking about, because if we talk about a camp, we can live together, we can do our own thing. If you can't grow and watch food grow or help with that, y'all, we'll starve to death. That's a lot of lip service. But wanted to give shouts out, y'all. This our brother BRIT-HAHADASHAH. This the one y'all heard me talking about was over in Iraq and Kuwait. That's our brother right there, y'all. He look like old Israel, don't he? Grace the core of the camp, y'all. He often helps us out, y'all. Got us a new monitor. So, y'all, we have a better view of the monitor. He helps us out tremendously, y'all. That's a good servant of the Lord, y'all, sent to us. BRIT-HAHADASHAH, we got a couple other new few people out here. What about the who has? Who else we got up in there? They left already. Okay. We got brother right here. New brother, what's your name, brother? Introduce yourself to the family. Brother Craig, y'all, out in Ferguson. Where it's hot and heavy at. Mike Brown.
Mike Brown?
Yeah, they say the script is there. Craig was out there from Ferguson. Florida. So y'all, we want to always know our family, y'all. We need to know our family, y'all. But y'all, good lesson. Hope y'all, anybody got any more questions or concerns before we get out of here? Y'all will get this pro. Y'all will get out what you got, sis. Our stove. I'll talk to him when we get up, and I'll let you know. Because she was talking about a stove over there, y'all, so we get a little cooking on. This is a feast day. That's what the Sabbath is. Feast day, right? You know, so we feed spiritually, and then you have to feed the soul, because y'all, this 3 hours. You know, so we don't come hungry. Knock the edge off. Don't send these babies here hungry. Don't you come hungry, because that's all you be thinking about is over there. You know, so knock the edge off, and this will knock the rest of the edge off till, you know, we head on back home. That's what Scripture says. You got houses to eat in. Don't just come to class to eat, y'all, but we want to be prepared because it's the wrong class. Children get a little restless. We got elders that may have a little sickness, a little something, they have to eat too. So we have to be prepared for this feast, y'all. But with that, y'all, we're going to close on out. We're going to get to Psalm. Y'all know how we do it. We had the prayer instructions at the beginning. Turn toward Holy Jerusalem, y'all. Y'all, let's keep the commandments and live. Or die trying.
All right, we'll get this closing prayer with the Most High's permission in the name of his only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading from the book of Psalms, the 36th chapter, and it reads as follows. The transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of Yah before his eyes. For he flattereth himself in his own eyes, until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. Thy mercy, O Yahweh, is in the heavens, and thy faithfulness reacheth unto the clouds. Thy righteousness is like the great mountains. Thy judgments are a great deep. O Yahweh, thou preservest man and beast. How excellent is thy loving kindness, O Yah. Therefore the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasures. For with thee is the foundation of life. In thy light shall we see light. O continue thy loving kindness unto them that know thee, and thy righteousness to the upright in heart. Let not the foot of pride come against me, and let not the hand of the wicked remove me. There are the workers of iniquity fallen. They are cast down and shall not be able to rise. Hallelujah! Selah!